I say every day. It's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.
We're not qualified.
Who are you?
Explorers in the further regions of experience.
I do this thing. If you do not listen, then the hell with you.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 104th episode of Screaming Into the Void, the show where we talk about whatever the hell we feel like. My name is Samuel the Infamous, and joining me today is my co-host, green-haired anti-liberal. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm alive. Kicking.
Yeah. It always amazes me sometimes. I think I might have discussed this a little bit last night with Nomi off camera, but there's a moment for those of you out there who don't do this kind of thing, this streaming thing. There's a moment generally before every stream where I'm just like, I don't really feel like doing this. It's like, I don't really want to do this. It's just like, I kind of just want to go do something else. And it's kind of, I don't know if it's like the streamer's version of like fucking stage fright or whatever, but you get right up to that moment when you press you press live, and then the intro music starts going, you start getting pumped and stuff, and then you turn that radio voice on the second that you're on the air, and it jazzes you up a little bit. I don't know what it is about it. It's something that I guess I don't know if I'm the only one out there who feels like this, but
Not all of us
we
have
get
the voice.
yeah. So you just yes, that's true. Gal's broken, but
Listen here, you. Not the discussion we were having.
yeah. So I wasn't going to bring that shit up again, but
I wasn't bringing it up, so liar.
So anywho, but yeah, no, it's just one of those things where you're just kind of like, I'm not really feeling it, and it's some of it's probably the workload on the weekends in terms of streaming, because I don't do a lot of streaming, as you know, during the week, although this last week was a bit of an exception. Generally because I work a full week outside of the internet, and so I don't have a lot of time to do anything during prime streaming hours because I am, either it's too late in the evening, generally speaking, or it's I'm just tired or whatever. And Fridays are kind of rough because I do my day job, and then I come home and I immediately jump into Abyssal Musings, and then I've got about an hour, if I'm lucky, between that and Beelzebub to get something to eat at that point. And maybe do any little extra things that I've put off. But and then after that, I mean, by the time that's over, and during the course of that show, I actually have to set up the stream for this one, or I will fucking forget to do it till the last minute after I get up Saturday. But it's like 4:30 in the morning here by the time I finally get to bed. And yesterday I was up a little bit later, or up a little bit earlier than I normally am, around 8:30 in the morning. And so I was like, fuck, I've been up for 20 hours. I really need to get some sleep. And I don't know if I want to get up and do another show, which is exactly what we're doing. So here we are. So yeah, it gets a little exhausting, just kind of like piling shit back to back to back. But, and so there is some hesitation there, before the stream goes live. And there's times when I don't feel up to it. And there's times when I'm just not feeling good physically, like everybody else. But for some reason, like, I'm able to put that aside once we actually go live. So
Yeah, it happens.
it's just a thing. I don't know. I don't know if this is across the board with all streamers everywhere, or if this is just kind of a niche thing or whatever. But it's something I've noticed anyway. I don't know. How about you guys?
I'm still new to doing my own streams. I mean, I'm not at this point, but I am at the same time. I remember the first time I did a live stream all by my lonesome. I technically wasn't by myself. Devil was in the back, but for the cooking the books. I was very, 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 very nervous. So it's slightly different because that was the first time I'd ever streamed myself.
Sure.
I don't know if I now, so like yesterday, I guess sometimes I get that way, but yeah, no, I don't think it's the same though. I just, well, and actually that's kind of just a me thing throughout life. I want to do something, but I'm like hesitant to do it. But then I force myself to like get past the hesitancy, and then I friggin' love it. So like even the biggest example, like joining the Marines, where I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm going to fail at this. Why am I doing this? Holy crap. Oh my God, you've quit everything in your life before this. Why are you doing this? Best thing I ever did with my life up to that point. What else? There's like, it's a lot of the things that I have that feeling are more adrenaline rush type of things. And I love an adrenaline rush. Like I want to go skydiving, bungee jumping. Like when we did the, I feel like I've talked about it here, but when we did the rappel tower in boot camp, you can do the bulkhead, which is like the wall side, or you can do like the helo drop, which is just a bar that you have your feet on and you push off and it's just air and you're going down to the ground. You better be able to like remember what they told you to do. And like you do it twice and they just direct you into whichever line it is, the bulkhead or the helo drop. And when I was going my second time, like I loved the bulkhead, but it was really quick and easy, like one and done. And when I got back up for the second one, they had put me in the bulkhead line again. And when they turned their backs around, I kind of did this little, I'm going to jump in the other line type of thing. And I did that and it was amazing. And I loved it. I loved both. But those are the things that make me hesitate, but I push past them. So I don't really know if it's the same, but
I think though you're describing kind of a similar phenomena, just different, I guess, specific circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. It's very true.
So let's say hello to the chat real quick. D-Day Direwolf. Hello, my man. Long time no see. About 12 hours. The Divided Kingdom. Hey, Cal. Good to see you, man. It's been a minute. He's very, very British, and so this is kind of like
very, very British. Interesting description.
Yeah. I mean, like in Britain. I don't know. Most of our British friends are very British. I just like to say shit like that because it's fucking funny. Liberal. I see Caucasian Sasquatch is in the chat, but he is live on another channel at the moment, talking the Trump speech, which we are not covering here today. I think he kind of got trumped out last week.
Yeah.
So got Beak here with us. Good to see you, my man. Aaron Laura's just coming in. Good to see you too. Yeah. So but yeah, it's just one of those things. And the only reason I even bring it up in the first place is because listening to myself as soon as the intro video ends and then I launch into my little, whatever, I can kind of feel like there's a switch in the back of my head that goes off and it's just like, it's radio voice time,
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest damn thing. And I don't even know how that happened. Because if you go back and you watch the earliest live streams on this channel, there's nothing like that. I stumble over my words a lot more. There's a lot more ums and ahs and likes. And I know I still do that shit, but it's nowhere near as prevalent now as it was then. Now I use swear words for filler instead.
God damn it. Bumped the damn table. No. My cover, so like the spy cover, flipped down because I need the table that my stuff is on.
Fair enough. We're professionals here. We know what we're doing. We're all about technical proficiency here at Screaming Into the Void. That's my NPR voice. How's it sound?
It sounded seductive.
Have you listened to NPR?
No. They don't.
They all sound like that, but they're way on the left.
Oh. No, thank you.
It's like, welcome to the show where we talk about pottery and how that can change your life.
Stop it.
You know, I mean, like,
No.
I'm serious. It
No.
sounds exactly like that.
Ugh.
It'll either put you to sleep or turn you on, and
Ugh.
I'm not sure which you'd prefer because they're both kind of not good.
Oh my lord.
That's right, folks. I do NPR voice. Ha 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 ha. See, Aaron thinks it's funny.
She pities
I don't
you.
know why that poor woman sticks around and laughs at most of my jokes because we're degenerates here. So, which, by the way, I think it's a new record. We made it about 11 minutes into the show, and I haven't said anything overtly sexual.
Just wait till Lou gets in the chat.
Right?
Right at that
Yeah.
moment.
Or maybe that's what'll summon her. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
It seems to be the case.
yeah.
So we are going to talk a little bit about politics. This has been a as I put in the Twitter notification, an insert adjective week.
You could go
It's
with
been a
that.
week. There's been some good shit, and there's been some really bad shit, and there's been a lot of like, what the fuck shit.
Yeah.
You know?
A whole
Like, I don't know how to feel about this. So we do have some topics today, and we will be hitting some of those here momentarily. I just want to let everybody know that, like, I don't want to get into it over the last week's events. We covered those, I think, pretty well then, in terms of like actual updates on that. Like, everything that we could possibly tell you has already been told all week by, literally every other outlet out there. And in fact, Gal and I both have been on several panels this week that have discussed this ad nauseum as well, just not on this channel. Go check out Beelzebub or Beelzehub. There's a wrong think on there that I think was quite good in terms of certain things that happened at the RNC this week.
Yeah.
We got a little off the rails on that one, and that was partially my fault, but still, it's a good show to go listen to and all that stuff. I don't know. It's been kind of an overload. There's so much shit that happened since Saturday afternoon that just it's kind of almost too much.
Yeah. It was a very long week and a very fast week. I don't like those because that means that there's a lot of crap just shoved into the entire week that made it that way.
Yeah.
I do have a humble request though. I made a flippant comment last week about women and screaming in like high intensity situations, and I
remember.
I thought on it because of the information that came out afterwards. Like, the timing of the scream could very much have been something to do with someone not meant to get shot being shot. And I just essentially want to apologize for that.
Well, fair enough.
It's
I don't think that apology is necessary for that, because at the time you didn't know any more than anybody else did.
Yeah, but I could have. I guess I just need to be a bit more empathetic, which is hard for me sometimes. Yeah. So I felt bad afterwards.
Fair enough.
That scream very much could have been warranted. I don't know if I would react that way, and I shouldn't really comment as if I know. So there's that.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I suppose that on behalf of all hysterically screaming women everywhere, I can accept your apology. I'm pretty sure saying that out loud is going to bite me in the ass later, but yeah, D-Day, if you go check last week's episode, when we first saw the video of the shot, and there was some screaming in the background and all of that, and so yeah, it was it very well may have been the the wife of the I
Or
think
the
his name is Corey
Corey
Compatore.
Compatore.
Yeah. If I butchered his name, I am sorry. I don't mean to do that there, but
Comparator.
or somebody who was sitting next to one of the other two men who were shot, who were both in the hospital. You know, could also have been a panic response.
It's true,
right?
To
That
which
happens. It could, yeah.
is
So,
but it's
it's it's a whole thing. I don't think an apology was necessary, but I understand why you feel, I guess, compelled to do so.
Yeah.
Power of Christ and all. Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Jackass.
Which also only makes sense if you've seen The Exorcist.
Did you just read Truism's comment about what he told his wife?
Which one? I told my wife, and it's an emergency it's never an emergency until you hear a white woman screaming.
I mean, and that's essentially like my tolerance for women screaming in high intensity situations is essentially what my comment was. But in that particular set of circumstances, I understand it more than in others.
Right. Well, and it's like I said, like at the time, we were all reacting live to an event that was currently happening. It wasn't, we didn't know any more than anybody else did. And if you guys go back and watch that last episode, I get a little bit like just, I don't know, I suppose my inability to know how to react kind of reads through in my voice a little bit at times during that show, because I was just like, what the fuck do I do with this?
I guess this is happening right now.
Yeah. Which may have actually been a verbatim quote by somebody on the panel. I'm not sure who. Could have been anybody. Didn't have to be me. So there are a few things that have come out. There was one thing that came out today regarding that event that I did want to bring up, but not necessarily because of the event itself, but how it applies to law enforcement in general. Which I don't know if you saw this, Gal. Came out about 5 hours ago from Mayorkas. So this is the Department of Homeland Security's statement regarding there's been a lot of calls lately, a lot of people talking about why are women in law enforcement, and by extension in the military, and by so on and so forth. And some people are even taking it as far as, why are they voting?
Not like it's not something I haven't heard before.
I don't know that there's a good answer for any of that stuff, because I can see arguments for both sides, honestly. But in the case of law enforcement, particularly in the case of the Secret Service, whose job it is to bodily protect whoever their charge is, I do kind of have an issue with women being on the Secret Service.
Sam, I'm assuming you saw my post about this woman, like the one that was standing behind them ducking. My Twitter.
I might have missed that one. No.
Okay.
So I will look out for it. But I'll be honest, Gal, I've kind of ignored some of your posts because I assume cats are in them.
That's rude. How dare you? How dare you? I can't believe you.
For those who don't know, Gal has been bombarding me with fucking cat photos and videos for a month now. Every day. Me. Every damn day.
There was one day I gave
Sometimes I get through the day and I'm like, okay, we're good. She just, she had other things to do. It's fine. We can just get through this one fucking day without cats. And like 10:30 fucking PM, boom, there it is. And I was like, God damn it, I was going to bed.
Sometimes I do that on purpose.
So if you can't read this here, I'm gonna read it out. In the days following the attempted assassination of former President Trump, some people have made public statements questioning the presence of women in law enforcement, including in the United States Secret Service. These assertions are baseless and insulting. Every single day in communities big and small across our great country, women are serving in federal, state, local, tribal, territorial, and campus law enforcement. They are highly trained and skilled professionals who risk their lives on the front lines for the safety and security of others. They are brave and selfless patriots who deserve our gratitude and respect. We in the United States Department of Homeland Security, the largest law enforcement organization in the federal government, I love how they throw that in there like it's a fucking subtle threat, will, with great pride, focus, and devotion to our mission, continue to recruit, retain, and elevate women in our law enforcement ranks. Our department will be the better for it and our country more secure. Thoughts?
Here's going to be an easy way to share my thoughts.
Hey, Jack.
Do it live.
Speaking of cats.
I'm sharing my post because I am a woman that was in the military. This is one of the most important people in the nation. Women in general should not be in high stress jobs because instantaneous reaction for women is emotion. It's driven by emotion. Men, it's driven by instinct. And this picture speaks 1,000 words to that. The men's instant reaction is to protect and dive upon that person. Hers is to hesitate.
Yeah.
There are women who are capable, fully capable, in comparison to some men who are less capable. I saw that shit firsthand. I experienced it myself being better than some men in the military. It was rare. I can carry a 205-pound man. I'm 5'1.5". I carried him about 5 steps. I do not think that women should be in the front lines because I've said it many a time on this channel. Men get distracted because their instinct is to protect that person. When they are with another man, everybody for themselves, like protect your partner, yes, but your first instinct is to get the job done. The moment you put a woman into that equation, the first instinct adjusts. It's just part of nature. And this baseless and whatever he said it was is bullshit. It's not baseless. Hi, Anna. Long time no see, dear. So I'm just going to give you a little insight into at least the Marines. Yes, we have our BMI standards, body mass index. I'm sure everyone knows what it is. I'm 5'1.5". My max weight was 137 pounds. It's the most strict branch, or at least it was. I don't know if things have changed. That was 12 years ago. If you're outside of your BMI, it's not like they kick you out. You just have to be on like half rations or double rations. So like my minimum was 104 pounds. There were some people that were called double rats where they'd have to, like, at least in boot camp, you need to eat, you need to put some weight on. There were men and women that would be outside of those standards. Those women in the Secret Service should not be looking anything of the way that they are. Fucking Melissa McCarthy in that photo should not be on duty on the front lines until she is in peak condition, and she is not. But that shit, like, it still happens in the military, even for people that get deployed. So I was always in non-deployable units. There are people where they are outside the standards and they're considered shitbags and everybody else gets punished until they fix themselves type of situation. And that stuff, just sometimes people just skate by and they are outside regs. A lot of the time, that's the women. I was not one of those women, and I worked my ass off to never be one of those women because I didn't want to set anyone else back. Women tend to like lean towards being outside of those regulations just because of the way our bodies are built. And our brains are not built for high intensity situations. I've talked about it here.
Yeah, a woman's instinct is different. You do have built-in responses to high-intensity situations, but they're different than a man's.
Yes.
And they're biologically different, and they're different for a fucking reason. As far as the BMI of the Melissa McCarthy lookalike that you referred to,
Yep.
the only thing I can think of is that maybe she thought she was going to present a wider target.
So she can cover his fucking legs. Good job.
Yeah, I guess. But she's also fucking a foot and a half shorter than he is.
Yeah.
There
are admin roles. Like even the commentary of like women shouldn't be in the military at all. I don't agree with that. There are roles that are non-combat related. And if you do get deployed into, like, if you're in a job that could be deployed, I don't think women should be the first choice. Take everyone else until it is fully necessary to bring, like, if you got nobody else, then send the women. It's like women and children first in an emergency situation get to safety. Why? Why, Sam? Why is that a thing?
Why is women and children because they're the fucking future.
Exactly.
They're the reason that we do anything, right? The children are the future, and the only ones who can make more children are the women. So yes, protect them at all fucking costs.
And that's a pretty fucking important role, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
The future of our generation.
Of our species, even.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And because I know there are those who would think that I was coming off kind of what's the term they like to throw around, misogynist, when I say that shit like that. But the fact is no, it's like, no, we protect women from harm because without them there is no future.
Yeah.
They are more valuable than men are. They're also physically, biologically not adapted or suited to combat. It's just a fact.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're bred to die. Men are.
I'm 5'1.5". When I was in the Marines, I got out of boot camp at 109. I got out at like 119 for my weight. Do you want to know how much are just a standard pack when you're out in the field weighs? Take a guess.
I think I'd heard something around 70 to 90 pounds, something like that.
So 90 to 100.
Okay.
I weighed 109 out of boot camp, 119 when I got out of the military. So when we had to carry those packs, like, I was carrying more than half my weight. That shit's fucking easy for dudes in comparison to me. Like, just specifically my experience. I'm not average height. I'm below average height. But average height for women is what? 5'5"? 5'4"?
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They all kind of look the same to me. Tiny.
Stupid.
But yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
So yeah, like exactly what you said. Like you're built differently, men compared to women. So men, you're just by nature built for the front lines. And this is, of course, generally speaking. One of my best friends growing up, she was a linebacker of a chick. She, like, through shot put, she was a track person. Like, just think Bull Dyke with long hair.
Right.
That's what she was. And she's built for that kind of stuff. She's rare for women. And the opposite side of that same coin is there are men that are my size. I actually had a freaking sergeant that was only like 3 inches taller than me. He was fucking stacked, though, to make up for that shit. And it was easy for him.
Sure. And I mean, and it's just the nature of things. It's the nature of men and women. Like, you know, I mean, and yes, I'm aware that there are some people out there who'll be like, well, that's not true across all species, but we're not all fucking species, are we? We're human. You
Right.
know? And we need to look at the facts of being human. And the fact is that while men are more physically adapted to that kind of strenuous thing, to labor, to combat, to hunting and gathering and running and jumping and carrying lots of shit and frankly dying,
Hmm.
you know, that's what we're for, right? And I don't think it's sexist to say that. And I mean, it's not. Look, it's not that women can't fight. I know they can. They have throughout history. But the problem is that generally speaking, when it comes to a point where your women have to fight to protect the homestead, you've already lost.
Hmm. Yep.
You should never come to that point. And we, as a lunatic society here in the modern day, are putting our women out there on the front fucking lines of combat before it ever gets to that point. Like we're murdering the future.
So, you know, Vasquez in Aliens,
Yeah.
a lot of people have that imagery. So like when you first met me, you never would have guessed I was a Marine. You haven't met me
No.
in person, so you don't really know my height and all of that. But
I've
just-
seen you next to Dermy. I'm the same height as Dermy. You're pretty small.
Yeah. So that's generally everyone's reaction when they learn that I was in the Marines. And I understand that because most people are going to think Vasquez.
Mhm.
So in the Marines, in boot camp, we have our own company for females. We're not co-ed like the Army, Navy, Air Force. It's a 20-to-1 ratio, male to female. So it kind of makes sense. Not a single one of the women in my platoon so it's just a company of 2 platoons. And not a single one of them looked like a Vasquez. Because we're fucking women. There were tall skyscraper women, a couple of them. Most average, and then some of us short women. But none looked like that. I might have met 2 the entire 4 years active duty I was in that looked like Vasquez. But that's what everyone pictures a female Marine to be. And that is not the case at all, because it is a rare creature in the wild in any particular space, whether it be military or civilian or otherwise, that you're going to find a woman like that. It's just nature. Stop bitching about it. It's reality.
Yeah. You know, and you're right. There are also men who are just not built for it either. They do exist.
Yep.
More and more, actually, the more of them fucking drink the soy juice that Starbucks sells. But, you know, but it's, and I say juice, by the way, because you can't milk a bean. It doesn't have nipples. Fuck off with that soy milk shit. Yeah. Milk only comes from mammals. It does not come from legumes or beans.
Or nuts.
Yeah. Like almond milk, not milk. It's fucking almond juice.
Yeah.
You know, it's not milk. Just saying. But you know, I mean, there are physically weaker, physically less imposing, physically less capable men out there.
Mhm.
Who
Why
wouldn't
aren't
be
those
suitable
men
to-
actually on a president's detail? If you're going to bring women in, there should be soy boy looking men too, right?
Yeah, well, you got me there. I don't know. I'm not assigning the details though. I'm just criticizing them after the fact.
Yeah.
You know, like most of America these days. You know, but and again, it's not so much about the events of last week as it is about like why. So here's the thing: I don't want women on the police force. All right. Women can be in dispatch, they can be in police records, they can, you know, do any number of support roles. I have no issue with that. I do not want them on patrol. And here's why. Right? Because I am a 6'5" man. right? I am not the biggest and strongest man you've ever seen, but I am very tall. I am very imposing, and I am physically stronger than a 5'2" woman in a uniform who has to carry all of that fucking gear and be expected to physically take me down if I get out of line. And the fact is because they know they can't. They can't physically take me.
Yep.
Right? This is a fact. I know they can't. They know they can't. Their instinct is just going to be to kill me.
Mhm.
Right out of the gate. I am not fucking okay with that. Not for a traffic ticket.
Yeah.
You know,
So I have like, sorry, go ahead.
men would just take me down. They might beat the shit out of me a little bit, but I'd be alive at the end of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Another lovely example from my life in the military. So like there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of Marines out there. There was a lot of downtime. Not everyone deploys. So at one point it became general joking, but actual attempts of getting me into a trash bin in the squad bay because I'm tiny. And it would be funny because I have a very, very big personality.
Plus, with the green hair, there's all the Oscar the Grouch jokes.
Oh, yeah. The green hair that was definitely allowed in the military.
I'm just saying, now there would be good Oscar the Grouch jokes.
So, yeah, that became like a life goal for pretty much everyone in my platoon. And not a single one of them got me into a trash bin. Because I'm very feisty. But every single one of them picked me up and walked me over to them because I'm tiny. No matter what gear I'm in, I'm not going to be able to stop them from picking me up and throwing me around. Getting me into their end goal never took place because I would kick it over. I would do everything within my power to not get put in that trash bin.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But,
and actually, that brings up women's self-defense. Women should learn how to defend themselves. Yes. They should learn how to fight. They should learn how to do everything they can to prevent the bad things from happening to themselves. I absolutely believe this, but I also believe that most of your predators that are going to go after women, particularly smaller, weaker women, right, are not going to flinch that much at getting kicked in the balls. So it's better to have a great equalizer with you, aka a firearm.
Yep.
You know, protect yourselves. You know, I'm good with that. Like what you were describing there. You do anything you can to not go into that trash can. Fight like hell. I get it. And I'm all for that. I just don't think it should come with a badge.
Well, right. And that's my exact point, though, is like, I was a fucking rag doll. I was a very feisty one. But it was very, very simple for any one of them to just pick me up and throw me around. So if like the roles are reversed where they're trying to avoid something, like avoid me taking them in, they could still do all of those things and I really wouldn't have much to say beyond I have to shoot you now if you're going to fight me, even just the tiniest amount. When it's flip side of the same coin, if it's dude, you're going to wrestle back and forth, but ultimately like one of you is going to win, but no one knows who it could potentially be. When it's a woman, we all know what's going to happen. There might be a rare occasion where she gets lucky and like pistol whips you, knocks you out or something.
If she hits you correctly.
Exactly.
In exactly the right spot and with just enough force to knock you out and not kill you.
Yep.
You know, but if she misses that spot, all it's going to do is give you a headache and piss you off.
Yes. Yep. And make it worse. Yeah.
You know. So yeah, and that's like it's I get it. I get there are people who feel that this is this kind of physical inequality is unjust, but you know what? Take it up with the fucking creator.
Well, and actually, you know what? People like I'm glad I was able to be in the military because it was good for my personal life. But women have different standards for getting into the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are not equal.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get into the semantics of, sure, not all women, whatever, fine. Then do not lower the standards for any single woman. If you want to be in those things, if you want to be in the military, if you want to be police force, firemen, any of those types of jobs, then you best believe you should be hitting every single standard at minimum. Like, why are we making it? Why are we lowering standards just so women can do the same thing as men, except they can't because they aren't fitting within the standards? The military, like I said, there are admin jobs. You're a cook. You're literally admin where you're doing all of the paperwork. You're not going to the front lines. Like, even my job, technically, I could have been deployed. I was radio communications.
Sure. Well, even like the motor pool mechanic work, right?
Yeah.
Women are more than capable of doing that kind of work in a lot of cases.
Yep. My best friend joined 6 months before me, and that's what she was, motor pool.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I realize that that most women are probably small enough to fit into a cockpit, but there's some science to suggest that the stresses that flying at high speed puts on the body are a little much for some women.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe not piloting, but, you know, certainly working on the planes. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is, I mean, if you're looking for like equality, it doesn't get a whole lot more manly than fucking mechanic shit.
Yes, absolutely.
So, but I don't think they should be wearing badges. I don't think they should be on the front lines. And I think that we should be doing more to protect our future and our women and by extension, any children that they may have than we are. I think that this whole push to get women into every aspect of life is only serving to harm our culture and our society as you know, as a whole. And I don't mean that in a, you know, Matt Walsh kind of way, because fuck that guy. But I just mean in general, like if we're putting all our women out on the front lines, who's going to be left to produce the babies? Devil's right when he says this, is that, you know, if you have 1 woman and 20 men, they can still only produce 1 child every 9 months.
I was just about to.
But if you have 1 man and 20 women, you can repopulate an entire area.
Yeah.
You know, that there is a reason for wanting to protect women, and it's not sexist.
It's nature.
Yeah. So it's just, and you know, I get not everybody wants to have kids and all that stuff. That's fine. You know, we have a population in the hundreds of millions. It's, you know, if a handful of people want to like go and be childless or whatever, that's not that big a deal. I mean, it's kind of getting to be a bigger deal now, but
being alone.
Yeah. You know, I get, yeah, I get it. You know, some people don't want kids. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm not saying everybody needs to go and have kids, except I'm kind of saying everybody needs to go and have kids because fuck the WEF. But, but the fact is like what we're doing is we're cutting off the option to even have that future when we put them on the front line, when we put them in uniform, when we have them making routine traffic stops that, you know, crackheads typically shoot cops for no fucking reason on, you know. And I'm not 100% on board with you know, like back to blue these days anymore either, you know, mainly because most of the really good cops throughout the country fucking quit 4 years ago. Most of the guys left over are not good people. They're certainly in a lot of cases not that competent, you know.
The left created the problem that they so hated. They made it the problem by getting rid of all of the good ones.
Yeah, I do hate cats. That's true.
Oh, and don't worry, Sam. I saw your stupid little comment below your name.
Oh no, that was just fun. I figured we get into a little conspiracy shit today, so I'm going a little bit Alex Jones with my cat hatred. So the cats are turning all the frogs gay.
You're so ridiculous.
I gotta get next time he's on, I gotta get Sasquatch to say that in his Alex Jones voice so I can clip it. It's terrible. But they are turning the frogs gay, the cats, because the cats do not have our best interest in mind, and they're a bunch of pot-bellied demon hobgoblins who want to drink our blood and eat babies. I wasn't looking at the screen for a second. I saw what you were doing and I had to stop. I was like, what the? They got the gal, folks. The cat's got the gal.
I've liked cats my entire life, Sam. I've
Yeah.
had many. I've liked dogs too.
You at an early age.
Oh my lord. I wish I had like the power to mute you and shit. Treat you like a treat dermy.
Yeah. My show though, so
This I know.
so the whole cat thing, like, look, the fact of the matter is no, I don't like cats. I don't like them as a species generally at all. There are a handful of probable exceptions, but they're all big cats who can crack your skull with their jaws. I mean, that's kind of awesome. You know, but beyond that, you know, I have no I have no real affinity for the feline. What was that?
Oh, I was just basically calling you a white woman that wants to tame like mountain lions and panthers and hey Dom.
Oh no. See, I'm not insane. No, that can't be done.
It can, but that's when you raise them from tiny little babies.
Yeah,
and they
that's
never
what
are in the
Siegfried and
wild.
Roy thought. I'm just saying. You know, tigers can't be tamed. They might behave, you know, in a certain way towards you for a while, but never forget what they are
Instinctually.
because
Yeah.
they haven't. You know. So.
Aaron, you're not
It says,
helping.
she is in fact helping.
No, you're not helping.
I have 2 cats. They're assholes. A lot of them. Yeah, that's true. Jack Tar Lad, all cats are bastards, no matter the size. That's also
And this
true.
is why you get
Hey,
tagged.
look,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that tigers and jaguars and such are not assholes. They absolutely are. They're just cooler about it. So yeah, that is what it is. But no, I'm not saying people can't like cats. I'm just saying that I don't like cats, and I don't understand people who like cats. I'm not really a pet guy anyway. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, you must be a dog person." I was like, "No, not really."
Isn't that fun?
It's-
Or like people are just like, well, why do you hate dogs? I'm like, I don't. I love dogs. Like I don't understand why liking one means you don't like the other.
Yeah, you get that all the time. It's like you got to be one or the other, right? Yeah.
No.
So it's not that I don't hate dogs like I hate cats, but I don't love them. You know, it is what it is. I don't really like them much actually either, because like cats, they won't leave me the fuck alone.
See,
you
dogs
get them
eating
running up to you.
Cats leave you alone.
Yeah. No, they not me. They don't.
Sorry.
They know
You-
I hate them.
Not you specific. I meant
And because they're bastards, because they know I hate them and they're bastards. They do everything they can to annoy me. They rub up on my fucking legs. They crawl up on my fucking shoulders. They meow at me. And of course, if I punt the little shithead, I'm the asshole.
Yes, you are.
You know, that's how this comes out, right? Even though he was fucking pushing them buttons, and he was like, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything about it. Here, I'm just going to rub up on you. You're not going to do anything about this shit. And you can't do anything about it because the owner's sitting right fucking there. You know, it's like, I can't win with the fucking assholes. They are bastards.
No, they're not.
So, no, there are some pets that I do like, right? I don't have any currently because it's a lot of commitment to take care of another fucking life, and I have children. So, you know, it's a whole thing. But like I enjoy scorpions, for example. I think they make fantastic pets. You know, they're also super easy to care for, which is probably part of why I like them. You know, I like rats. I like rats quite a bit. They're friendly. They're smarter and cleaner than cats are.
So weird.
You know, and you know, their love is genuine.
Oh,
It's
my
not
God.
bought like a cat's, and it's not. You know, I mean, dogs' love is arguably genuine too, but dogs are kind of stupid. So,
You're a pain in the ass.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Eight
saw that.
tentacles to thwart an army of cats. It's not. Did you guys ever see Sleepwalkers? Sometimes you just can't win.
Mhm.
You never seen? Okay. So long story short, because I doubt.
And there you go. Oh, there you are.
Did I?
So long story short, what?
Okay, so it's an objectively terrible movie. So I doubt many of you are going to actually go out and watch it. It's based on Stephen King thing. He wrote the screenplay and it makes a cameo in it. It's not great, but it's about this mother and son who are incestuous, immortal cat people vampires. Right.
Okay.
Like they turn into like these giant hairless werecats. And they
Nope.
suck the life force out of other people, especially virgins.
Okay.
And they have sex with each other, even though one of them is clearly apparent to the other.
Okay.
It's yeah. Anyway, their one weakness is actual cats. So, because they come from like ancient Egypt or whatever, and at the end of the movie, I'm going to spoil it here for those of you who haven't seen it, but it is like 40 fucking years old too. Alice Krieg, who plays the mother, gets assaulted by every cat in the fucking neighborhood, and they just rip her to fucking pieces. And she's like this powerful, immortal demon thing, you know.
Okay.
So, like, they scratch her until she catches fire.
All right then.
Yeah, it's
Sounds like a weird.
you don't have to watch the movie.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I like fucking bad movies.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do.
Yeah. It's not Garfield fan fiction, it's Stephen King fiction. So yeah, it's called Sleepwalkers D-Day. Yeah,
At least it's not.
I don't know why it's called that though, because the title never really makes sense in context with like the characters and shit. Now we know where there's no trauma. I just don't fucking like them. Like,
Good point, Anna.
some people no cats are
Feedback
self-serving.
in
See,
favor. Good job.
cats are self-serving, and here's there's old
Except
old
for-
world lore about cats sitting on fucking the chests of newborns and sucking their breath away, right? Had you guys not heard that?
Oh, I had. It's ridiculous.
It's true.
It's not true, you freak. There's also lore about them protecting you from friggin' demons in the night. So
Yeah. Well,
put stock in that one, Sam.
I mean, they don't like the competition. They're territorial.
Oh, shut up. Oh my god. We're so ridiculous. Me too, Anna. Me too.
Jesus, Aaron. Yeah, Beak. There was one of the three stories that was in the Cat's Eye trilogy. Yeah, involved this cat defending a kid from a troll that was sucking his breath away, even though the cat was getting blamed for it, kind of thing. Yeah. Also, by the way, Stephen King. Drew Barrymore. Yeah. Oh man. So didn't mean to go on a whole like I hate cats diatribe. I was just trying to be funny with that whole Alex Jones conspiracy theory thing today, but I do kind of hate cats, so it is what it is. There are very few animals that I like to keep around as associates and pets. You know, almost everything that walks the earth, if it has a soul, I would rather eat than feed. Except cats, because they have no fucking meat on their bones.
Oh my
It's all
god.
sinew.
I'm perfectly fine with you not wanting to eat cats.
There's nothing to eat. Like, they don't even make a good stew. You know, rabbits are about the same size as cats are, and they have more meat on them.
So now that's also why you don't like cats, because they can't feed you in an apocalypse.
They're fucking indigestible, yes.
Oh my god. You're certifiable.
That laugh probably didn't help. So Cavitano, I don't think it's ginger cats. I think it's all cats. No cat has a soul. That's why they're after yours.
I can't with you.
Yeah, water's turning the cats gay. Now that the cats are turning the frogs gay. Yeah.
Yeah, but ipso facto.
No cattle snake. First of all, cattle snake's not a thing.
You don't know.
I do actually. It's not a thing. It's actually illegal to eat things like mountain lions and stuff like that. So you just don't tell anybody when it comes up. Look, there's nothing in the world like eating apex predator to make you feel like a god. That's all I'm saying. So, but yeah, that I don't know about the so I don't really want to go over too much with the cancel culture shit that's going on the right now.
Yeah,
because it's just as fucking retarded as it ever was. It's just the fucking other side doing it.
I mean, it's the Christian right showing that they don't give a shit about the Constitution. That's how I see it.
I think there's something to that, actually. I think that you and I had some things to say about very, very specific content creators earlier this week, and I'm not going to name names this time, but
yeah, y'all can assume.
I don't like to actually drag other creators, like even if I have a disagreement with them or I think they're a complete piece of shit boogie. But I'm not generally into that kind of drama and engagement kind of shit. It's crass, I think, and it doesn't really serve anybody in the long run. And sooner or later, if I were to get into that, something would come out or somebody would say something and it would just put me in the fucking hot spot at some point. I don't want that either. So it's just I just as soon stay away from all that crap. But there are certain people out there who, again, I'm not going to, get into naming them, have made a very, very public, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Witch hunt?
I guess, yeah, you could go with that. There were some events this week at the RNC. I'm sure most of you were paying attention when they happened, and I'm sure everybody's got their opinions on what exactly happened and whether or not it was good and all that stuff. And that, I get all of those arguments. I'm firmly on the side of now is not the time to be going after our own.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't won a goddamn thing yet. The battle is not over. People are acting like it is. People are acting like, oh yeah, we've got all this leeway and all this ability to fucking branch out now. And I was like, no, you don't. You need to stay fucking focused and stay on goddamn task. And part of that means maybe don't turn on the people standing shoulder to fucking shoulder with you.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some out there who are intent on doing that.
Even the ones that aren't even standing shoulder to shoulder, they're standing in front of you taking the rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to.
Yeah. Unlike the Secret Service. I mean, look, you just left that line on the table there. Was I not going to?
Nope, worked for me.
Pick it up. So, yeah, and it is what it is, and this is something that I have talked about repeatedly on this channel. I kind of took over Devils for a minute, went off about it. And Devil, if you're listening, I do apologize for that. That was now that the more I think about it, and I listened back to that podcast, I was a little bit out of line, I think. But I wasn't wrong, but I was out of line.
I'll go back and listen because I think you're talking crazy. I don't.
Yeah. Well.
Thing you saying.
Yeah. So, but this is something I've long feared, because as most of you know, I'm pretty goddamn right wing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Static made a mention last night on Beelzebub of, how most of us at present were more centrist. I'm not a fucking centrist. I am not a centrist. I can talk to and get along with and break bread with centrists.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a centrist. I'm pretty fucking right wing. I am also not a Christian.
Yep. Which
is where the problem comes in, because I can be, shoulder to shoulder, toe to toe with these guys, and there's going to come a day when we're going to vanquish that dragon, and then they're going to turn and they're going to look at me because I ain't one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not totally.
Yep.
you know, and anybody else who was standing side by them. And eventually it'll get down to, you know, they'll have wiped out everybody who's less and less like them and all that stuff. And then they'll start turning on each other because, you know, that's how it goes. And I don't think that's exclusive to the left. I think that's a human thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not okay with it. I'm not. And I realize I'm being very non-specific here. And again, it's because I'm attempting to avoid calling people out specifically by name. There are two in mind that I have right now that I would just, but they're 100% wrong to do so at this time. Like, we know it's coming. We know there's going to come a time when the Christian right will turn on everybody else because it's part of their fucking mandate.
Mhm.
You know, join us or die. That's
right.
always been the Christian thing. And I know there are Christians in chat listening, and I know that you don't feel that way specifically, but historically speaking, yeah, that's always how it's been. It's like you either sign up and become one of us or we will drive you out. That's how it's always been. Muslims are no fucking different.
Mhm.
You know,
See, they can call themselves Christians all they want, but this is why I'm, I guess, agnostic. I hate putting labels because I don't know what all of the labels even really entail. I'm just me. It's where I'm at. The more organized it gets, the more mob rule it becomes, and less about just individual morals and being a good person. Like, Christianity is not meant to be attacking those who do not agree with you. It is actually meant to be opening your arms and having a discussion with those people to bring them to the Lord, not to push them away by just calling them demons and saying, well, if you're not going to say it my way, then you're wrong and I'm going to shun you. Like, why people can't coexist by, like, I believe in God. I may not believe your specifics in the same way, but I believe in being a good person and that there's a higher power out there beyond just what science can show you. And science has been proven wrong a lot lately. It's just, it sickens me that like, I do agree with that, like, negative outlook on it. And it's unfortunate because it is in human nature that, yes, we may band together to vanquish the big bad and get it taken care of. But the moment that there's no longer a big bad, utopia cannot exist. And there will be a new one to vanquish. And it just depends on what side you're on, whether you're it or not.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of where I'm sitting at, because personally, from my personal perspective, like Jack's saying here, is like Christian fundamentalism is no better than Islamic fundamentalism. And I would say that there is one major difference, and that's that modern Christian fundamentalism has no teeth, and they are not willing to go to the lengths that Islamic fundamentalism still is to this day. But I don't expect that to remain the case in the future. You know, I do expect that there will be a return to certain old practices. You know,
So,
I mean, yes.
Oh, I was just,
No, go ahead.
instead of saying, like, comparing it as like two sides of the same coin, it's like 20 sides to the same friggin' whatever the D&D dice are. Like, that's how I see religion. There's so many of them that all have like a central core to it, and they're just all on one 20-sided die. That's how many faces there are to it, even more so.
Yeah, facets, I think, is the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and Jack, I get it. Puritanism killed millions in the past. It wasn't just Puritanism. It was, yeah, it has killed millions of people in the past. This is true. Islam started killing people fucking 900 years ago and never stopped. You know,
I hate YouTube like that.
Huh?
So earlier I put it to live chat because you know how it automatically puts it on top chat, the chat in YouTube. So earlier I specifically put it on live chat. And so you're talking about the Puritanism comment. I'm like, I don't see that. And I look up and it had changed it back to top chat. So I go to live chat and comment. I fucking hate YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, at least it showed it in StreamYard, because sometimes I can't tell you
Yeah.
how many times in the last fucking week alone that I've put something in chat that was not anywhere near as inflammatory as I fucking could have been, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't show up in chat. Like, I was the only one who could see it
So
because
ridiculous.
it just gets boom censored immediately.
Yeah. I did not mean to derail that, but I was just
No,
confused.
no, it's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a problem with people believing what they want to believe. I do have a problem with people turning on their fucking neighbors that they. This is where I differ with. I think where I probably have more in common with centrists than not is that both the far left and the far right think that in order for there to be any kind of unity in this country in the future, that the other side must be eradicated.
Yep. Yep.
Problem is that eradication of any kind, like there's no way to do that without creating even more dissent, which creates more polarization, which creates more radicalization, and then more violence down the road. There's no way to do that without that. And I'm not advocating for that in any way. What I am saying is that here's the thing: is sooner or later there is going to be another period of peace. There is going to be another period where, like the 90s, where everybody more or less got along, and it was just a couple of nut jobs, and we all knew they were nut jobs who were trying to stir shit up, right? There is going to come another time like that, because time works in cycles.
Yep.
When that happens, we have to be able to live with each other because we're still countrymen.
Yes. And you are
Yeah.
never going to find a single person that agrees with you on everything. And that's where my central problem with all of this stuff this week, the drama this week from like the RNC stuff on Monday, essentially, is that that's how they want it in all things. These people that are kicking up dust. And it drives me crazy, because you're never, and both of those main influencers that have talked about it say those things. You're never going to agree 100% with everybody. Yet when it comes to this particular topic, they want to just badger people, badger them. One in particular, I don't know if the other one did it, is just, why can't you say this? Why can't you say this? You say that you believe in God. Why can't you say this? Because it's not their belief, and that is fine. Why do you feel you have to force your beliefs on people?
I think I have the exact post you're talking about, actually. Yeah, and that's exactly right. It's like, look, Sikhism has more in common with Christianity than it doesn't. So it's actually got a fair amount in common with Islam too, which is funny because they've been enemies for centuries. But
yeah,
and I just, in a lot of ways, the basic tenets are present in multiple faiths, multiple so-called conflicting faiths. And you can find like the basics, like be good to your neighbors, praise whoever's up in the fucking sky, like just don't be a dick generally, and like instead of looking at the common ground, they look at the differences. It's like there was one particular person who ranted for like 2 straight days about the name of the title rather of the Sikh deity, which is, I believe, Waheguru, which is a compound word, and it's a description. It's not like a name kind of thing any more than Allah is a name. It's not. It's just Arabic for God.
Yeah.
This is one of those things. Like, there's like, will you worship Allah? I was like, yeah, and in Arabic that just means God.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just because
roboting,
because the word is in a different language doesn't mean it's fucking tongue of the devil. Am I?
Right.
Am I still?
Well, no, you're back now. You're good.
Do I have to talk like this?
Yeah, maybe the Matrix needed the smooth tones of your jazz-like voice.
All right.
But
that's
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, a foreign language is not devil speak. I'm sorry, it's not.
Yep.
The foreign title that a person calls God does not automatically mean, oh, it's a demon from hell. You don't know what you're fucking talking about, lady, so get off it.
Yep.
I've also noticed, like, one of the people in particular is not new to this arena, has been doing this for a long time, but the other one is
Mhm.
relatively new. And there's something else that got brought up that was not too long ago. I think by Jack, actually, Jack Tarlad might have put this out to me, but there is no more annoying person than an ex-smoker,
Yeah.
you know, because they're so righteous and so full of themselves and so sure that they know the way and that you need to listen to them, especially a new ex-smoker or a new vegan or a new, in this case, Christian, you know, who suddenly knows everything.
Yeah.
You know, just shut the fuck up and let us live in peace. You know,
Mhm.
that's all I want. Like, I'm
Always
not out
want
here
more.
trying to corrupt anybody's kids. I'm not out here trying to
Mhm.
fucking tear down your way of life. I just want to be left the fuck alone, same as the rest of you.
Yep.
You know. So, sorry, I was a little ranty there for a minute myself.
And the thing is it's not your job to make sure I go to heaven. It's your job to make sure you do, and you attempt to help those who might need it along the way. In your
Mhm.
eyes, like that's what it should be. Just in anything that is good and holy. Don't force your shit on me because it's just going to make me pull back even harder.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
how a lot of people are. I am very much that way. I am stubborn as all get out. So the more
She
you
is.
push, the more I'm going to pull in the opposite direction. It's so irritating.
Yeah. Most of the time I'll let shit go, you know, when it comes to, especially when it comes to like religious beliefs or faith of someone else kind of thing. I will let shit go in a lot of cases. It's just because, you know, I get it. It's your faith. I'm not going to shit on you for that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to believe it, but I can respect that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But you also need to respect that I don't. You know,
It's
like
like
you
that
don't
joke.
get to come and tell me that Jesus is the light, the truth, and the way. And if I think otherwise, then I'm some kind of fucking blasphemer because you believe that. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gets on my fucking nerves sometimes when it's just, and it's always couched, unless someone is going after a specific person, as we witnessed this week, but it's almost always couched in a general term. So it's like, oh, well, I didn't mean, you know, I could just as easily say that about this person. I wasn't talking about you specifically. And it's like, fuck you, you know, I mean, you were, it's just fuck you,
Yep.
you know? So
Like, have you ever seen that skit of like if carnivores treated people the way vegans do?
the Awaken with JP skit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah.
I mean, you can imagine like the way vegans treat everybody. Essentially, I could put that as like if pagans treated people the way pushy Christians do. Like it's
Oh.
not just people on specific diets that skit could fall under.
Hey, Jacob. Yeah, so that I get what you're saying there,
Yeah.
and it would be a very funny skit, if wholly inaccurate, because if pagans decided to behave the way Christians do, we'd go back old school and
Yeah.
we'd scorch the fucking earth,
I know.
because we've been on the other side of that shit. And we're not gonna fucking go through it again, you know. As like there, and I'm not putting this out there as any kind of like threat or gotcha or any of that stuff, but there are more of us than you fucking think there are.
Yeah.
We don't advertise, generally speaking. We're your neighbors, we're your
Essentially why I
teachers, we're your politicians, we're your mailmen, we're your husbands and wives, you know, I mean, we're your children, we're everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, technically speaking, because of the way history went, there's a reason that you don't advertise it that way.
Yeah, because the last time around we got burned the fuck alive for 2 centuries.
Yes.
You know, and that's kind of my point, is like when you go so hard against a perceived enemy, right? Even if they aren't your enemy, you go so hard against them, you will create an enemy, and not only that, you will drive them underground where you can't see where they are or what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why, like, the Civil Rights Act is not a net positive. It just
the Civil Rights Act of 1964, that Civil Rights Act.
Yeah, like it basically forced actual racists to just go underground.
Yeah.
Eric July talks about it all the time. Like, he is very adamant. Like, I want to know who these people are. I don't want them to be forced to shut up, so I don't patronize their businesses. Like, free speech.
It's kind of too late, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But that's the
damage
thing.
is done.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. Next thing I know, I got, hey, Christian, thanks for bringing that back up. So if any of you guys missed it, go over to Erin Laura's channel. She put out a video it was like a month and a half, 2 months ago, where she makes me look like a serial killer who murdered my friend. It didn't happen, but it's a very funny video, and the way she edited it together is very true crimey, and it's very funny. You know, but Matt said something on Amir's stream about, you know, addiction and you know, serial killing, and how it's very similar.
I could never imagine you talking about anything like that. That's weird.
Yeah, it was how did she put it, or how did I put it rather? It was just like, yeah, that's how addiction works, or how serial killing works too. It's just like, you know, you start out going after a little thrill, and you know, more and more and more, and it's never enough. You can't get that initial high, and the next thing you know, you got 8 bodies out behind your shed. Yeah.
You're so morbid.
Yeah, I'm kind of actually, Aaron, do you mind if we play that? You know, would that be an issue if we played that here? Because I think it's a fun video. It's a very good point. Well, I was making a point. I was being shocking about it, but it doesn't diminish my point. You know. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll give me a second to.
Do you know the title of it?
I gotta go find the thing, but yeah, it's called Surprise.
Oh. I thought I just saw. Oh, Surprise, a Monster in the Den.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, if you want to bring it up, that'd be great, because it'd probably run better on you on your side anyway. Only 8 disappointing. It's just a start, Anna. It's not like I'm in the woods. Yeah, this is something. Go check out Erin Laura's channel. She does some fun stuff.
Can you hear it? Well, there's not really anything to hear right now, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think the sound kicks in until a minute.
So serial killing works like that too.
Oh, look, Sam's voice.
I'm sorry, what?
Tens of witnesses. I love that.
It's like, you know, you get you get a little thrill from a little risk that you take. But eventually that risk isn't enough, so you got to take a bigger risk, and the next thing you know, you got 8 bodies out behind your shed, and the next thing you know, you got 8 bodies out behind your shed.
You can't hear it, Jack? I can hear it.
Let's go. Let's go downstairs.
Anyone else not hear it?
It looks like D-Day hears it.
Okay. Turn it up a little just in case.
Holding everything together.
Walking for her life.
Yes, my moment. We on an adventure.
And it's the full moon outside.
That was there more to it.
So for context, that was actually spliced from 2 different sections of the same live stream where she had, gotten up. She was trying to be quiet as she moved through the house, but it looked very Blair Witchy the way she was doing it. And that was like earlier on in the stream. And later when she had a panel on, I brought up that line about the 8 bodies. And Aaron went nuts, as you can see. He made a great little video that makes me look very bad. Tell you what, why don't we put the link in the chat for you, Jack?
You're just saying.
Okay. You got a wrench, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, worked out really well. Sometimes it does. Sometimes I say things without thinking, and I mean them in the moment, and then they get clipped and taken way out of context. Yeah, go check this link out. This nice lady who put this together and made me look like I belonged on fucking CSI. So I actually do very much enjoy it. She emailed me right after that, and she goes like, "Hey, I want you to look at this and tell me if it's too much, and if it is, I'll take it down and all that stuff." And I watched it. I was like, "No, you gotta keep this shit up. It's fucking hilarious." That's what the internet's for. I don't get memed that much. I mean, it happens, but it's not as much as like some other guys out there who do. And part of that's because I don't show my face. But
yeah, I was gonna say it's not as impactful.
I'm not that interesting, honestly. So, but when it happens, usually it's usually worth the wait. So, yeah, fun times. I don't know, but this is what I'm kind of saying though about taking shit out. When we talk about certain creators, certain pundits, certain big fucking mouths on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take the one thing they wrote that's like, well, Higuru, oh, that must be a demon's name. And I was like, check again.
Because you don't understand language. It must be because it sounds weird to you. Well, it doesn't sound weird to the people who speak the language.
Right. Or these going around saying, "Oh, only Jesus is the light, the truth, and the way." I was like, I mean, I'm sure that's what he told you.
Mm.
It's like I come from a little bit of a different perspective on that, and you guys have heard me expound on this before. I don't believe God when he says the Bible is his word. Right? I'm not saying he didn't say those things. What I'm saying is that I don't believe that he's honest. I don't believe any of the gods are honest. I think that they lie to us constantly. All of them, without exception. I think they can't be trusted. And I think just because he told you a thing, or they told you a thing, or Zeus fucking told you a thing, doesn't necessarily mean that thing is true or correct. It just means that's what they want you to fucking go along with.
Are you the control group?
Yeah.
Yes,
like
that we're a science experiment to gods.
I don't even think of that. I don't even think of them like that. I think of them as parasites.
Mm-hmm.
They come along, they find a world filled with, a bunch of what they would consider lower beings and all that, and they're like, oh, we could farm this for some good prayer juice. So they come along and they take credit for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Something that was here before even they, right? I think that if there is a creator, it's not this Abrahamic God. I think it's something beyond that, even that.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that it's out there doing what creators do, which is creating. I don't think it sticks around and looks at old projects.
Yeah.
You know, if there is such a thing. And I think the gods came along and they looked at this little world. I mean, you know, and something else that I would like to bring up here too. Something that I got kind of irritated with about, again, I sent you that DM the other day that with the screenshots and everything. Yeah. So here's the thing. When people talk about the 10 commandments, right? And they talk about the first commandment, right? Of the 10, I mean, because in this little rant that I posted on YouTube under somebody's comment section, I also made mention of the fact that the first commandment of the 10 commandments is not in fact the first commandment given to man by God. The first was don't eat the fucking apple. And the second was go forth, be fruitful and multiply, you know, fucking have babies. You know, those were the first commandments. But anyway, getting past that, we get to the 10 commandments, and the first 3 in particular are very, very telling. The first one is, I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Doesn't say a fucking thing about there not being other gods. Doesn't deny their existence in any way. Just says, I'm the best, pay attention to me. Fun fact, almost every major deity ever worshipped by anyone anywhere on this fucking planet throughout its entire history has said something to that effect. I'm the best, pay attention to me. All of them have said that. You know, I mean, maybe not like in a specific pantheon. Not every god in like the Hellenic pantheon, for example, has said that, but Zeus sure as shit has.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Zeus has said it to his own fucking siblings, who are also gods.
I was just gonna say, like, they're a god family.
Yeah.
He's the leader in his eyes. Yeah.
Well, he's the leader because they can't take him.
Yes.
That's why.
Yeah.
He's also the youngest of the 3 brothers, which makes no sense why he ended up on top. But that aside, it's like every one of them comes along, every one of these like heads of pantheons or the monotheistic gods or whatever, they say, I am it. Right? There may be these other dudes over here. We're not going to acknowledge them. Because you're not going to go looking, because I'm it for you. That's all that means. That's all it's ever meant. You know, then it's followed, I think, with I can't remember which one comes first. As thou shalt not take the Lord thy God's name in vain, and then thou shalt not bow before graven images, which is another form of worship. Catholics, I'm looking at you. But that aside, like, it's all about him. It's all about glory to me. Pay attention to me. What can you do for me? You exist by my good graces and only to serve me. Right? I hate that idea.
Yeah.
I hate it to my fucking core. So when somebody comes to me and tells me that Jesus is the way, right? Because God said so. I'm sure he did. I'm absolutely sure he said so. Because that's the other thing that often gets confused. When I say that I don't worship anybody, that doesn't mean that I don't believe they exist.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not an atheist by any stretch of the imagination. I believe in all of them. But I also believe that they're all liars and bastards. You know, without exception. You know, I think they're self-serving. I think that they are a parasite race, you know, who's divided up this world into their little conclaves. You know, the thing about the God of Abraham is he was a genius, actually, because he's actually got 3 separate fucking religions all worshiping him and claiming that they're the only way.
Yeah.
So it just I don't know. But so when people say shit like that, and I know they believe it, and I'm not trying to tear down anybody else's beliefs, right? If you believe whatever it is that you believe and you think that I'm coming for you specifically, I'm really not. I don't care. You know, if it gets you through the night, if you end up being a better fucking person for it, I have no issue with you having whatever faith you have. I'm just saying that I disagree, and I have the right to do that. You know, the same way that everybody out there has absolutely the right to disagree with what I'm saying now. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does to me. but I'm more about freedom than religion, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that's the one you bring up. You haven't gotten
Well, yeah, no, I'm getting through it. I missed a few chats because I went on a fucking soapbox rant again. Sorry, folks.
again, things that rarely ever happen. I'm so shocked at you today.
It's usually just one a show, but today not so much. You know?
It's probably because it's just me and I just kind of let you talk.
Yeah, that might be it too.
Well, it's
You've ranted a little too, though, so it's
Yeah.
fine. It balances out. So that's where Gnosticism originated from. Yeah. I actually don't know that much about Gnosticism, aside from the fact that they intersect with a number of major faiths. They're a little out there, a little strange, a little secretive. From what I understand about them, I'll have to look more into them. I always got that like people like the Freemasons and such were closer to Gnostics than not, than otherwise. Kind of thing. And I don't mean like Illuminati type shit. I mean like the actual Order of the Freemasons, which is a very real thing. They're all over the fucking world.
when you're saying Illuminati.
I'm not saying that they're not. I'm saying that the Freemasons don't go around saying they're not a thing.
Gotcha. Okay, valid.
They put their mark on it. Like, have you been to Salt Lake City?
I've driven through it. I've not
Okay,
stopped.
so go
Hilarious.
downtown to where all of the oldest buildings are, and you'll see a couple of different symbols everywhere. One of those symbols is a beehive, right? And a beehive is a symbol for the whole Deseret thing, which is a very Mormon thing. Look it up. It's very niche kind of Mormon stuff, but it has to do with like New Zion on Earth kind of thing.
So long.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a beehive over the mantle or over the doors of most of the buildings in downtown Salt Lake City, because it was built by Mormons, and it makes sense that they would be there. But if you look for the cornerstones of most of those places, you'll find the symbol of the Masonic Order, because a lot of those guys were Freemasons.
Yeah.
Same thing if you go down to like Philadelphia or Washington or Boston or whatever. A lot of the oldest buildings in those areas have the Masonic symbol on them, because a lot of founding fathers were members of this stuff. A lot of our presidents have been members of this stuff. Fucking George W. Bush and his father both were.
If you think National Treasure was a work of fiction, you're silly. Too. Sorry.
Yeah. So, it's. What do you mean? It sounds like cats.
I was just about to actually comment. Remember when you were talking about like gods and how they're
Okay.
full of shit? That rant. That's when that came in.
Okay, look, there may be a correlation there.
Yeah,
The cats were once worshipped by an entire advanced ancient civilization as gods.
At one point, I
Right.
giggled, and it was because of this comment, and I was thinking the same thing, that like cats were worshipped as gods, or like
Because they snookered a whole people.
Egypt was wrong.
Egypt was fucking wrong.
You're so dumb.
That's been my new hashtag too, which Gal has seen, is hashtag Egypt was wrong.
Yeah. My favorite part about this whole past month is the random people that will now tag you in cat shit.
God, that's so fucking annoying. It was bad enough when it was just you, but now it's like Shock's doing it and Static's doing it. And fucking Alf did it once.
Nothing to do with you. I'm having a random conversation with someone and then they tag you in because a cat gif comes up or something. Like, it's
I know.
because it pisses you off.
I've seen a couple of them where I didn't get tagged in. Like there was a discussion with like you and Dermy and somebody else that I saw yesterday, and I was like, nobody tagged me in this. I'm not saying a fucking word, and I closed the tab and I walked the fuck away.
Well, in that specifically, it was just Dermy tagging me, not saying anything, in a random freaking video of a bunch of cats under like a comforter, and
Thanks,
I watch it,
thanks,
I'm like, oh,
thanks, Gal. See what you're doing.
you brought it up first. I would just like to establish. But But this video, like, I watch it, I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And then I comment, I'm like, what did you do, or are you about to do? Because like there was no rhyme or reason for him to tag me in it at all. So I was just like a mother, like, why are you buttering me up? What did you do? What do you want? Oh, that's what it was. I said, what do you want / did you do? That's what I
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it was definitely damage control. Like preventative damage control.
I still don't even know what it was for. You know, thinking about it, maybe it's because he brought back the bikini clip in the opener last night. It could have been what it is.
No, that was probably yeah, that might have been it. You know how
Yeah.
how he gets about stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a Rogue Shadu popping in. How's it going, bud?
What do you mean rogue? That's an oxymoron. I'm just rogue.
A Rogue Shadu?
Yeah, it's an oxymoron.
I'm implying there are other Shadus who toe the fucking line. That's what I'm implying.
Those don't exist.
How's
If
it
they
going,
did,
kid?
I wouldn't have been banned on Twitter as many times as I have. Howdy, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Your badge of honor, the Twitter bannings.
Yeah.
Shooting for 40.
Yeah. Oh man. So you've been busy lately.
Who?
You.
You
In what context?
in life generally.
Oh, absolutely in life. 12-hour days consistently. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think we were meeting?
I didn't.
Are you
I've got
okay?
absolutely no clue. Listen,
She and I have
man,
been up here.
this is the first day. This is the first day I've gotten to sleep past 7:30 in like 2 weeks. Okay, let me have this.
All right.
Yeah, no worries. She and I have been up here for an hour and a half though, bullshitting. So it's probably we weren't talking about each other.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
You gotta pick on
Nice
the
to have you
little
on.
now.
I'm sure.
Glad to be on.
Actually, have you been listening?
No, I just got home and remembered. Oh, hey, Abyssal
It's
Musings
Saturday.
is on. Wait, no, Screaming into the
Ex-
Void, not Abyssal Musings.
Go back
And then
to
I
sleep,
hopped on.
kid.
Yeah, sleep deprivation. It's
No.
a great drug.
Fair enough. So you probably missed all that bit where I said Jesus was a liar then, huh?
Probably.
Well, I mean, it was more God was a liar than Jesus.
Yeah.
If you believe in them as separate entities.
It's a little bit less hyperbolic than that. I wasn't just being a dick. There was some stuff to it. But anyway, no, I was just talking about just because one person believes a thing to be true doesn't mean that that matters to those of us who don't believe it.
Well, and what's funny is
Absolutely.
like what Sam believes isn't necessarily true either. But the fact that
I mean,
he
we'll
said
find out when we die. You know,
pisses people off who believe the other bit. And I'm just like, who's to say either of you are wrong and either of you are right? That's what I find
Man.
the funny about this whole discourse that people have around it.
Yeah, there's a great line from a film called The Outpost, which it's basically Camp Keating, if anyone knows what that is, in Afghanistan. And so it's Christians killing Muslims and all that. And there's a moment where you got like a dude, he's stuck out in an ATV, Humvee. He's out in a Humvee, and it's raining, and he's like huddled up in his little rain jacket, and he's just shooting the shit with his sergeant over the walkie-talkie, and they're having a little religious banter, and he goes, "I mean, only one of us can be right, but both of us can be wrong." And I mean, that's a very good way to look at religion. Only one person can be right, but you're not necessarily the one that is right.
no, I'd agree
It's-
with that.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the fairest assessment of the whole situation. When I talk about my beliefs, folks out there, I am talking about what I believe. And here's the thing about faith. Faith means that you don't know for a fact. Faith means that you are choosing to believe that this is the way, but you have no ability to prove that it is one way or the other, right? If we knew for certain, it wouldn't be faith, right? It wouldn't be belief. It would be knowledge. So And I do think that faith is an important thing. And here's the thing: like Gal's 100% right. I could be dead fucking wrong, absolutely. And I know I'll probably find out when I die. Same as everybody else. But that's the thing, is that even people who are so entrenched in their convictions as to, like, this is the way, this is the only way. I'm not speaking specifically of Christians here. I'm speaking of zealots in general.
Yeah.
Even they don't actually know. None of us do. It's possible that we're all fucking wrong.
Yep. Except for that spaghetti monster guy. He could be the one that's right.
That was a joke, right? That whole thing.
I'm aware it's a joke, and yet apparently it spawned an actual religion because the internet is full of retards.
Except that it's not an actual religion that people actually believe in. Yes, no, I get what you're saying. And it's like it's an organized religion, but the whole thing's a fucking troll. Always has been.
See, you say that, and I'm willing to bet actual money that there is, like, it could only be like barely double digits. There is a group of dumbasses out there who unironically worship to a flying spaghetti monster.
Well, yeah, and there's always going to be
inevitable.
There's always going to be like one or two idiots out there. There's also going to be people who are in other faiths who are going to take them fucking seriously too. That was kind of the point. It's like when the Church of Satan named themselves that. They're a bunch of fucking cosplaying atheists, man. They're not devil worshippers. But if the Christians think that they are, more power to them. Kind of thing. It was about fucking with the establishment, right?
Okay.
Now there are actual worshipers of darkness out there. That's a whole other kettle of fucking whack jobs. But yeah, as far as the official Church of Satan or the Satanic Temple or the Temple of Set or any other offshoots of these people, except the Temple of Set are a little bit militant, so don't fuck with those guys. But they're essentially atheists who are just using specific trappings and cloaks of darkness because it pisses Christians off. It's a troll. That's all it's ever been.
I wouldn't say. I mean, they may be trolling, but I wouldn't necessarily say the whole thing is just a troll.
The Church of Satan is absolutely. It absolutely is. I'm speaking of the specific organizations that people point to when they say these Satanists over here, these guys worship the devil. No, they fucking don't. There are people who do.
I'm saying from that context. Yeah, I'm saying from that context of like, oh yeah, we're just fucking with people, but there is actual damage done, but like not physical, like broken property damage, but cultural damage.
There's cultural damage done by Christians too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay.
It's like you're not getting away from cultural damage.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm fucking tired and I'm splitting hairs. I was focusing on troll as like just like a joke, not as in like fucking with people. Sorry about that, Sam.
Yeah.
I like how you said you're fucking tired and splitting hairs. Like when you're fully well rested, you don't split hairs.
No, when I do that, that's intentional. Right now, it was legitimately an accident.
Yeah. No worries. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you got to keep in mind, kid, that this troll was started when newspapers were the only way to get information. There were only 3 channels on fucking television. There was no internet. So, like, I mean,
4 times.
People did what they did for a lot of entertainment, but yeah. The Church of Tenets, Satan's core tenets are more wholesome than a lot of Democrat policy. That is most of them. I'll grant you, most of them. But it also tends to come from a self-serving place because it's the whole point of it is sort of enlightened humanism. When they talk about how they see themselves as their own gods, they're not joking about that. They literally see themselves as the main character in the universe, and everybody else is more or less there to service their plot line. So yeah, there is some shit there that I don't agree with, but yeah, for the most part, it's like, yeah, don't fuck with people unless you expect to be fucked with back. So they take the rule of 3, or what some people would call the golden rule, and they jack it up to tenfold payback, which is much worse. So, hey, Larry.
What's up, Larry?
Good to see you, man. Yeah. There's some Suka in the chat with us as well. Awesome. So yeah, no, I don't.
I was just about to say he's been in the chat, but it was because of Aaron's video. He was in Aaron's video.
Yeah.
Suka.
Yeah.
It's like I saw him
Yeah.
earlier. No.
He's like, oh, we going on an adventure.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, but yeah, and that's, and I again, I want to stress here that I'm not knocking other people. I don't. I just
You're
thought about
cutting
it
out.
again, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just
Yeah.
on my end. Yeah.
Okay.
You're back now.
No, that's okay. I'm back now. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking people for what they believe. Believe whatever the fuck you want, so long as you aren't harming kids or other people.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know, you want to harm yourself. Like, do you guys know what the Sundance is? Okay, so Sundance is a practice from specific Native American tribes. In particular, I'm thinking of the one practiced by the Oglala Lakota Sioux, where
So,
basically
yes, I
they
know
stick
that.
they stick a bunch of fucking hooks in the dude's chest, right? And then they
Mhm.
suspend him in the air from a pole by those hooks, and the pain becomes so unbearable that the idea is that you leave your body and you go on a spirit quest or journey, and you know, like the pain forces you out of your own body, kind of thing. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be a very spiritual experience. It's a fucked up, brutal thing to watch.
I'm assuming you've watched it.
I've been around some shit, yeah.
Concern.
It's a tribal thing, man.
Mhm.
You know, it's not a commonly practiced thing these days either, because it is like a lot of people have fallen out of practice with like the older beliefs that they had when, you know, the tribes roamed the plains free and all that shit. But there are still some hardcore believers out there, and this kind of thing is super fucked up. It is super brutal. I'm not saying it doesn't work, because I'd fucking leave my goddamn body too, you know. But they're not doing this to other people, right? This is something you volunteer for. This is something you choose, and it only happens to you if you choose it with conviction, right?
Mhm.
Therefore, I'm not going to judge them for that. I
Yeah.
think it's personally something that I would not engage in, but it's not like they're picking up some random fucking runaway off the street and doing it to them,
Right.
you know. So as long as we keep that line there, like, you don't fuck with kids and you don't fuck with other people if you can help. War is a different thing, I guess. You know, I mean, obviously there are some things that got to be done, but you know, I don't care. I don't care what you believe. Whatever gets you through the day. If you're a better person because of it, and if you, as long as you aren't fucking harming kids specifically, you know, I don't really care that much what you believe, you know.
So Suka brings up a point that I find interesting of they should just do drugs instead.
Yeah.
If you
well,
actually so
if you think drugs aren't involved in a Sundance, you'd be out of your mind.
Also, drugs are expensive. Fish hooks are cheap.
And this is the thing, like the drugs that he's implying are more pharmaceutical, or not pharmaceutical, but
Talking like DMT.
well, they're, I don't want to say synthetic either, like chemically created.
Non-natural.
Yeah, like versus like say peyote. There's something to be said about the old ways not being as detrimental in the long run as the new ways.
I agree. Bring back opium.
You know, you're only
bring
saying
back-
that because of the historical context. I've actually done opium. I would not agree with you.
Correct. Sorry for ruining your point, Tiff.
No, you didn't ruin the point. I'm just saying, like, sure, it may sound barbaric and not something you'd want to do, like go through that instead of just like popping a pill and getting the same experience. But like, which one is worse in the long run? Obviously, being hooked like a fish to get to that is not necessarily something that wouldn't be harmful in the long run either. But I don't know.
That's not the whole ritual, but yeah, it's like the worst part of it is
Yeah.
that it's not even about the actual the hooks themselves or the
Mhm.
method of doing it. It's about using pain as a way to open yourself to the spiritual, which there are other ways to do that.
As well.
Just saying.
Yes.
Which, unironically, this is actually something I've thought about a lot, and you probably, some of you may remember the few times I've gone, civilization is poison. The really sad thing is, the individual who probably went through the Sundance ritual was probably coming out of it in a better state than just existing within modern society with all the chemicals and mental illnesses that we inflict upon ourselves with just existing.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Which-
kind of
which
what I was
is-
saying is that there are drugs involved in the Sundance. There are hallucinogenic compounds. There are some very trippy stuff, but none of them are painkillers.
Mhm.
You know,
and I mean-
but so it's not that there isn't some chemical assistance to achieve that state of higher consciousness or whatever. It's just that it's a little bit more complex than that. It's sort of like when they said the Aztecs were sacrificing people against their will, right? They didn't just cut their hearts out of their chests unless they were running low on supplies, which they
Yeah, there was
typically weren't. They would drug the shit out of them first so they didn't feel a thing.
Right.
Yeah, it was like a 10-step program.
Mhm.
Step 3 was they flayed you.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, it depended on who they were sacrificing into. If it was Huitzilopochtli, it was usually just the heart. But yeah,
Oh, the conversations.
Oh, so they only made cloaks out of girls for wedding gifts. Is that right?
to kind of. It is also a way to honor Xipe Totec, which is a whole other kettle of fucking worms. But yeah,
Wait, so that time they declared war on their overlord by giving him his daughter's skin as a coat, was that like intended as an actual gift, and he just took it wrong,
it wasn't a gift,
or
for
was
him,
that a
let me put it that way.
declaration of war?
No, it was a gift. It was a sacrifice. It was just not meant for him.
Okay, gotcha. No, because I remember reading that, and I'm like, that's a hard ass way to declare war, but
Yeah, it.
I feel judged.
I don't know. People do fucked up things, and to be honest, the of all the pantheons out there, one of the brutalist is the Aztec. You know, the most brutal, I should say. Brutalist isn't a word, but
It's a word.
yeah, it's not the only brutal thing out there, but it's one of the more brutal pantheons out there. Just because there was, just, I mean, even like Xipe Totec, for example, right, is god of the underworld. Xipe Totec's name literally means the flayed one. Guy walks around with no skin all the time and is in a perpetual fucking bad mood, and he's one of the nice gods. Just putting that out there.
So when I go to Mexico, pack a ton of fucking lemons. Got it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they aren't really worshipped down there. Jesus is. You know, that most of the worship for them died out like when the Spanish came. You know. So, but yeah, it is what it is. I mean, there are a few people who still practice. I'm sure, you know, there are always remnants, but the vast majority of Mexico and the various areas that the Aztecs conquered and the Mayans before them and the Olmecs and the Toltecs and all of those guys are Catholic now, which is not to say less brutal. It's just different.
Kind of brutal.
Yeah. So,
You gotta
Yeah.
pay taxes.
yeah, and they're all about, you know, miracles and eating the flesh of their dead god and that kind of thing. I mean, it's brutal, but it's different.
It's Lovecraftian brutal.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, because if you get
I'm
that, this
feeling-
is something that's always bothered me with Catholicism is the idea that Jesus and God are the same being. They're not, right? Logically, they're not. They can't be. You know, like Mormons talk about a Godhead, right? And I think other Protestants do as well, where there are three beings: the God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, who together form a triumvirate or a Godhead, but only God is God.
Mhm.
Right. And that Jesus and the Holy Spirit sit on his right and left hand sides, kind of thing. But if you look at the Catholic way of explaining it, God basically knocked up Mary with himself
Mhm.
whom he then sacrificed to himself.
Mhm.
and
Weird. Never
I
understood.
mean, not,
then you get into the
not
whole transubstantiation thing, and it gets weird. You know?
how I understand it, it was less that he was sacrificing Christ to him. It was less that he was sacrificing Christ to himself, and more of Christ basically became like a sponge for all of man's evil and wickedness, and then by going down to hell and then overcoming hell, basically expunged all of that.
Yeah, he took the place of the scapegoat, which is a sacrifice.
But it wasn't to God. It was like a. hmm.
I
It
disagree.
wasn't like when it wasn't like when you sacrifice a goat to God. It was more
When
of
was the last
a
time that God did
sponge.
something that didn't result in his glorification? Seriously.
Eh.
You know, it's kind of all they're all about. That's what my whole rant that you missed earlier was about God's. It's like they don't do shit if it doesn't benefit them.
Hmm.
You know. But and again, we're just having a friendly discussion here, chat. I'm not
Oh,
like
absolutely.
people
God,
believe what they
that's way
believe.
worse.
Yeah, I
Yeah, no. If I wasn't having a good time, I'd be doing some Melanie Mac shit.
yeah.
And am I not allowed to bring that up?
No, you can bring it up. I had just gone
Okay.
like a whole rant without mentioning her name, but yeah.
I'm more referring to her prolific use of a certain word rather than
Yeah.
recent controversy.
Oh, you mean faggot?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
listen. I don't know. Different channels, different rules on what I can and can't say.
Sam, when he got his strike, he pretty much was just like, fuck all of your goddamn rules. So he just.
Pretty
Oh
much.
shit! I can
Now,
book the Boondocks.
look, here's the thing. I don't go out of my way to use a lot of these words myself generally because I find a lot of them fucking distasteful, right? But I'm also not cool with YouTube saying what I can and can't say either. So, you know, here we are. It is what it is. And, you know, yeah, she uses that word and she attacks everybody with it, which is actually I find very distasteful. I find it crass.
At first, I found it funny. Then it got old, and now I'm just like, whatever.
It's like when the 10-year-old discovers a bad word. Like they
Mhm.
say it the first few times, haha, and then when you hear it every other sentence, when they use it as punctuation to quote someone smarter than me, it gets annoying.
Mm-hmm. D-Day says that she takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
Look, it's not that I've never said that particular word before. Obviously, I said it fucking 5 minutes ago.
Yep.
You know, it was one of the words growing up in the 90s where you know, a lot of words were used at the time, like retard. It didn't necessarily mean you actually had Down syndrome. You know, you know, if we were making fun of somebody with Down syndrome, we would have called them a Downy. Just saying.
I have an actual retarded brother.
Hey guys, I'm getting called to do something. I don't know when I'm gonna be back or if I'll be back, so I gotta go.
It was good
All
to see
right,
you.
well, show your shit first.
Yeah. Basically the only thing is next week I'm doing back-to-back D&D streams on my channel, Sword Coast and Sorcery, because we've had a little bit of a hiatus due to real life stuff. Should be episodes 5 and 6 if I remember right, Wednesday and Thursday night, starting 8:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Have a good one, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Later,
Yep.
kids.
Thanks for stopping by, kid.
Yeah.
No, he's a good kid. Does some fun stuff on his YouTube when he actually has time to do anything on it. Go check him out. A lot of fantasy based stuff there.
I was still subscribed because I hadn't seen anything in a while.
Yeah, he's just been really busy. He hasn't been able to put anything out for a while. But
I know that.
yeah, when he's on, you know, yeah, it's worth checking out. Also, his description and gals are in the link or in the his links are in the description below. Jesus, I got that backwards. That's what I get for I'm being cursed with tongues here because I've been talking shit about gods all day.
Oh, that's amazing.
Look, I'm one of those guys who Terry Pratchett describes a certain mentality about a guy who would wear brass armor during a thunderstorm on a hilltop and shout, "All gods are bastards." I'm that guy. You know, I am that guy. So yeah, it is what it is. But I don't know. I don't want to like go after anybody specifically. That was kind of the point of avoiding names specifically, because I think that it doesn't just apply to those specific people.
Yeah.
They're just very publicly out there, and they make easy targets of themselves. And I don't actually want to attack, like for instance, Melanie Mack. I wish her well. I hope that her life doesn't suck. I hope that she gets everything she wants out of it. I would like her very much to stop attacking people who fucking disagree with her.
Yep.
But I don't think that's going to happen. So what I do instead is I mute her and I unsubscribe and I go a different direction. So I don't have to see her shit. She continues to do whatever she wants to do over there, and that's fine. But I don't have to deal with it.
Yep.
And generally, actually, that thing that I sent you the other day, that's the first time I've even done any kind of interaction with her in like a year.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't have even done that. Like I told you, it's like, I made some good points. I think I made some great points actually, but I probably shouldn't have been, that reactionary, I guess.
This week, it was a special week, let's say, to where everybody was kind of just on edge. So it just got amplified, in my opinion. Like, I normally don't engage. I didn't really, beyond like the venting on Wrongthink with it. And for me specifically, it's more the topic than the person, but the person has done it so frequently for different topics to where those two things, the topic and the person, kind of just meld together. Is that a word? Meld.
Yeah, that's a word.
Mold
It
together.
usually applies to like meth, but yeah.
It's funny you roboted right when you said it usually applies to
Metalwork.
metalwork. Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought I was combining like mold and weld. It's like,
Yeah,
it's kind of.
it kind of works.
Yeah, actually. As a wall, there's a wall, and then you weld it together. Whatever. Yeah, I think everybody was just so on edge to where most people that don't even engage just felt they had to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was in my feelings this week. I was.
Yeah.
I was emotional and I was pissed off and I was just fucking angry. And I said some shit that I don't think I was wrong on, but I think I might have been out of line in terms of the venue that it was spoken in, and because it wasn't just Devil's Show. I kind of lost my shit on Twitter a little bit Monday. And it was. I don't like to do that. I don't like to be out of control like that.
Yeah. There were other situations that took place as well. That are very deep.
Yeah. So this is one of the reasons I don't drink much or do any other recreational kind of drugs these days at all anymore, is because I don't like being
out of control,
not in control of myself.
Yep.
And I see what you're saying, Jack. I disagree. I think that my emotions got the better of me and I allowed it to happen. That the points could have been made in, I guess, less, I don't know. I don't know what the right way to put that is. I just think that there was probably a better way, and it would have been made apparent to me if I had calmed the fuck down and thought about it before I spoke.
Yeah. You were turning into me.
Yeah. I was channeling my inner gal.
Yeah.
That's getting clipped. Excuse me, folks. I try not to cough on stream either. Usually I'm quicker with the fucking mute button. It was coming up one way or the other. So you know.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah, that cough came with the prize.
Salty.
Oh man.
It's about
Is that what? So, like, if a white woman gets a facial, right? And by that I mean like in the porn sense and not in the makeover sense.
Mhm.
Does that make her a salty cracker?
Well, it's not wrong.
Hey, we're past 2 hours on YouTube, folks.
It's
I
true.
hope we
Although
should
you
be
did say
okay.
faggot before too.
Yeah, I did.
I checked it too because I was just like, I wonder if it'll
Yeah.
be.
I have emotions, and I just don't like to let them out, or let them rule me. You know.
I just
Generally-
like the emoji that went with it.
Yeah. It's fucking cats again. But that's the thing. I don't like to. So
Yeah.
I was not always as I come off these days as pretty collected for the most part, right? There's once in a while I'll raise my voice in like shock or whatever, but it's not like a constant thing with me. I come off pretty even keeled for the most part. At least I think I do. That was not always the case, and it took me a very fucking long time to learn how to control myself. And some shit got really bad for a while, and not just for me, when I was young. And I don't like to let that shit out because it's not good for anybody, least of all me.
Yeah.
So it's not that the emotions aren't there. I just keep them on a very short chain, generally speaking. And this week, I let the teeth show, and I don't feel great about that. So
The fact that it's a rare occurrence means it's okay. I know it's not okay with you. I understand. I can tell you all day long that it's okay, but you're not going to believe it. So
no. But
the outward appearance from those like chat me, like Jack mentioned it, like you were fine. I do not recall any lines being crossed. Your own personal ones, sure, but we all know what I've done on this channel, so I think you're fine, Sam.
Andy, actually, no. There might have been some
Finish reading
court-ordered
this.
mental adjustment, but yeah, no, that movie didn't help at all.
Oh. Oh, I thought you were reading actually.
No, I did actually read it wrong the first time, and then I read it again, and I was like, oh, okay, I get the joke now. But
I've never seen that movie.
it's annoying, actually.
I've seen clips from it, and I'm just like, yep, still zero interest.
Yeah, I like Adam Sandler. I like Jack Nicholson. I don't really like that movie.
Yeah, sometimes that happens, and I'm the same way. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like all Adam Sandler movies, but both. And that one just interests me. Just like Jack and Jill. Never watched that either.
I don't know which one that is off the top of my head.
So, like, not himself. Like, he
plays his sister in
his
that.
character, his sister. Yeah, and I'm like, this looks awful.
I didn't watch that either.
Who is in it? Is it The Godfather? He did like a weird commercial inside the movie, and he thought his career was over at that point because of that part that he played.
Oh, I can't
I swear
remember
it's
his
The
name. Was
Godfather.
it Marlon Brando?
No, maybe it's not him. Damn
Paul
it.
Sorvino?
No. Some gangster. Who's Scarface?
Oh, Al Pacino?
Yeah, it was him. Sorry, I was mixing up my mafia movies.
Yeah, Al Pacino did become the Godfather in those movies, but he wasn't in the first one. That was Marlon Brando. By the end of that movie, Al Pacino's character Michael takes his father's place as head of the family, but he's not up until the end of that movie. And then for the rest of the series, he is.
I tried watching the first movie, and I fell asleep, and I just haven't went back. I was really tired when I started watching it, which is why I feel I fell asleep. So I just haven't watched them.
Yeah,
It's my
first
bad.
one's good. First one's really good. Second one is a pretty damn worthy sequel, and the third one's kind of meh.
Mm. Okay.
You know, I like you got to watch it to get the rest of the story, but it's not
Yeah.
like as good a movie as the previous two are by any
Okay.
means. So I actually like The Godfather 2. I think probably the best of the three of them. You know, which I don't think everybody agrees with me on that, but so yeah, and I don't like gangster movies. Generally speaking, very very few of them do I even sit down and watch, let alone enjoy. And you know, I put them on one hand, like the Godfather trilogy. You count that as one because it's one fucking story. You know, it's literally a trilogy. It's not like
Yeah.
you know.
Is Public Enemy considered a gangster movie?
That's the one with Johnny Depp, right?
That is the one with Johnny Depp, and I'm thinking of the wrong one.
I think it is, but that's more of a crime drama than it is a gangster movie.
It's got Bane. Who plays Bane?
Oh, Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy.
What's the movie he's in where he's a gangster?
He's in a television show, I thought, or
Oh,
was he? No,
'Cause
you're
he-
right. There's a
plays
movie, but I can't
triplets.
remember what it's called. Yeah,
I can't remember what that's called.
yeah, but it's like turn of the 20th century times too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I totally just derailed all of that by
yeah,
Godfather.
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I don't like a lot of those kinds of movies. I like Godfather. I like Goodfellas. I like A Bronx Tale. And I like Donnie Brasco, and I think that's about it.
What is the
So,
one?
and The Untouchables.
Untouchables. I see. What's that about?
It's about Elliot. Kevin Costner plays Elliot Ness trying to take down Al Capone. Sean Connery's in it.
It's
a good movie.
At first, I had Expendables in my head, and I know that's not what you were saying. That's not the movie.
No, not at all.
But yeah, I don't think I've seen that either. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not really a gangster movie person, but it's probably just unless, yeah, no.
Yeah, it's just not a genre for me. I don't like a lot of war movies either, for that matter. You know, there are a couple that I really enjoy, but generally speaking, it's not my genre. You know.
I've watched maybe like 2 war movies, and everybody like on Vets Talking like type of chat. They're like, "So you're the X-ray girl of Vets Talking," because I haven't seen those movies. I'm like, well, there's a reason. I didn't do anything in the military, so it's hard for me to watch movies like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's just not my thing. In the case of the war movies, my father was a Vietnam vet, and he had every movie that was ever made that was about that era, and he watched them all the time. Wouldn't talk about Vietnam, obviously, but you know, he would watch these movies constantly and all that. And so I saw a lot of things like Platoon and
Gotcha.
The Deer Hunter and all that shit. It's like I don't care for that genre at all.
I like Down Periscope.
Yeah. So, but I think that might be a rebellious against my parents kind of thing, because I also hate the fucking Beatles because my parents listened to them constantly when I was a kid.
I think the Beatles are overrated.
You know, I do too, personally. You know, and I think that you know, I mean, of the surviving Beatles, I'm kind of sad that Paul McCartney's one of them. Just saying. I wouldn't ever call for anything to happen to him. I hope he lives a long and healthy life. I just think he's a shit songwriter.
Which one dated Yoko Ono?
John Lennon, who was murdered in 1983.
Is he part of the 27 Club?
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you know what I mean with that?
I have no idea.
The 27 Club? Like people that died at 27?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
from, like,
No,
the
I think he
period?
was older than 27. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you got to keep in mind that the Beatles made their fame when they were like 19 in the 50s.
Yeah.
Right. He dies in 1983, which is like almost 25 years later.
Okay. Have you seen That Thing You Do? The movie?
I think I saw it when it came out, but it wasn't really my bag, so I don't remember it very well.
I love that movie, and like they kind of have a nod to. I consider it sort of making fun of the Beatles, but not at the same time. It's more just kind of like a
Fair enough. Fair
mention
enough.
to them.
Caucasian Sasquatch, welcome in.
Hello.
Not too much. Not too much. Just discussing movie genres and what we like and what we don't.
All right, so I got a couple of war movies. I know you're not into war movies, but two that are especially exceptional. 1917, If You Can Sit Through It. It's an almost unicut film. There's
Yeah, I've heard that about it.
7 cuts like that in it, and it is.
Oh, I thought it was just one cut. That's what I was
It's
told.
not. There's a couple of cuts, but the cuts are very well done, and it's very long shots. But
Okay.
Hacksaw Ridge, because it sounds like fiction, it's not. Right? Like, it sounds like the kind of crap you would fanfic about on your way home after the battle. But it's not. This is reported by 3 divisions. They all agree that man does miracles. It's essentially the way that comes down. So much so that the federal government had to back off for a second and let that man do his miracles because they weren't moving forward without him. Period.
The one that I have seen that I actually enjoyed what they did with it was 13 Hours, the Benghazi movie.
I think I saw
And
most of that. Yeah.
they didn't make it political. There was like one line at the end. Like it was literally just about the men that were there and what happened. And that's it. Like they kept it very neutral. And then just one comment towards the end about getting fucked over by a certain person. And they didn't even say names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that movie got a little bit panned too.
Yeah, people use that phrase. I don't really know what it means. That word.
It means critically unfavorable.
Oh. I don't know anything about that. I was homeless for 20 days when my brother and I were buying our house, and a coworker let me stay with her. So I wasn't homeless, but like, so I took her to a movie and dinner as thank you. And so we went and saw that. And there wasn't anything else that would have interested both of us. So, yeah.
See, I like to enjoy movies.
Yeah.
That's not a movie that, like, what I remember watching, and I didn't watch the whole thing. I caught part of it on fucking a cable edit one time, but there wasn't anything to enjoy about that. The based on real events shit, the fact that it was so intense all the damn time, you know, I just.
Oh,
it's one of the reasons I watch a lot of war movies is because it's like, you know, you're in the shit now, and I want to be in the shit. I want to be having fun at the fucking movies.
And not that I was deployed, but like just from the general military aspect, they did very well with all of the people playing their parts. It was just like watching Aliens. Like I saw Aliens before I was in the military, but like watching it after the military, it represents Marines very, very accurately. That movie.
Yeah. No, fair enough. It doesn't represent the Xenomorphs very accurately, which is why
I know, Sam. I know.
Fucking James Cameron went and cut their alien balls off, but whatever.
I just looked up and realized that I was still live streaming, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
Over here. Yeah, no, I'm not. No, I left that one going over there. God knows what I just picked up. Those people, that's not good.
Yeah. Oops. So, but now I don't know. I like fun movies. This is why I watch the shit movies, guys. Is because they're fun. Is because I enjoy them. Velocipaster is ridiculous, but it's
Velocipaster is ridiculous. Black Devil Doll from Hell is another one that'll just make you giggle from how bad it is. It was made for $74 for the stolen doll. Like, do you remember the old white Casio keyboards that had like 10 keys or 12 keys or whatever? It didn't even have like a full. That's That's the background music for Black Devil Doll from Hell. Tempo 1, and then the violin chords.
Nice. See, I don't. I know Gal knows about this. I don't know if I've mentioned this on this channel. It got mentioned on Devils, but so I watched a movie last weekend to relax, to get my head out of shit, called Slaughterhouse. And it's fucking great. It got made last August, I think. And, I was thinking, oh, it's going to be like, super woke or whatever, because, I mean, it's a movie about a sorority house in modern day, like, come on. And there are some things in there that are definitely, there's some DEI presence in this movie, but it was an independent movie and they had fun with that shit too. And I didn't mind any of that.
Lots more titties, right? Just different colored titties.
I mean, yeah, but there weren't any bare titties in this. That was one of the things that sets it kind of in that genre of the woke-ish, I guess. But it didn't really matter because the characters were actually pretty good for the most part. They were pretty interesting, especially the main character. I really didn't have an issue with her. And her best friend was like very two-dimensional at first, but becomes less so later on, which I appreciated. There was character growth. I also like the fact that there was a three-toed sloth fucking murdering sorority girls left and right like it was Chucky. That was, oh man, definitely go watch that movie if you get a chance. I think it's on Amazon or Hulu or some shit like that. I don't know, but I don't remember where I saw it at, but it was really fucking funny.
Is it
and enjoyable.
better than Cocaine Bear?
Oh no. Cocaine Bear's fucking awesome.
Meth gonna be better, right?
I'm looking forward to Meth Gator.
If I could ever get a fucking subwriter, it's on like Donkey Kong, baby. I'm going to Florida. I might do it. I might film it in Louisiana and say it was in Florida just to make it creepier. Just for fun, just to mess with people's heads.
This is accurate, Aaron Laura. Yes. I like be real, not be real. That's true too. And there's a certain subgenres of horror that I won't watch because they're a little too fucking like reality based, which like even if the stories are completely fictional and what happens in them. Huh?
Nothing.
What was it?
I said, who are you, Ryan Roger Athe? Reality based.
No. When I say it, I'm not shilling my channel. So love you, Ryan, if you're listening. Yeah. So no, when but what I'm getting at is kind of like the serial killer genres, for instance. I don't watch that shit for the most part, unless there's something supernatural about them. Like Jason is an unkillable zombie, for instance, or Freddy Krueger is a dream demon. Michael Myers is technically human, but there's an argument to be made that he's really not. Yeah.
So, Freddy Krueger might have been at the root of my addiction at the beginning because I just refused to sleep. I didn't like the concept, the idea of missing out on the idea that things are going on while I was unaware of it. It really bothered me. And then you throw into that a sleep demon that can literally eat your soul while you're sleeping, and you're never truly in control when you're sleeping. And so all of that together pretty much rendered me into an anxiety-stricken puppy. Like it was, I'd function on 2 hours a night, if that. Yeah.
Candyman, Anna, is a great example of a fucking fantastic horror movie that I do watch that is technically a slasher, but it's also kind of a treatise on the nature of urban legends and the stories we tell each other and what that means in terms of immortality. It's a very, very cool movie based on a pretty good short story by Clive Barker called The Forbidden, which I would recommend people read.
That whole franchise actually did very well for a long-term type of franchise. Even the later ones weren't too absurd.
We don't talk about the remake.
Nobody talks about the remake. Nobody even had to bring that up, Gal.
You're the one talking about the remake.
So, there was another question up here that in the chat. Where was it at? Is Slaughterhouse a slow burn? No, not really. No, it seems like it wants to be, but there's a lot of sorority girls and only about an hour and a half of time to kill in LA. And so no, it's not really a slow burn. No, I'm not kidding, dude. There's like 30 members of this house, right? And there only like 5 of them survive. It's so fucking great.
You ever watch I Spit on Your Grave, the original?
Maybe a long time ago.
Is one of the best slasher flicks ever made because it's not at all a slasher flick at all.
It's a revenge flick, isn't it?
It is, but she's the monster in the slasher narrative. They do horrible things to her, and she leaves and comes back all healed up and goes freaking Rambo on them, as only a really hot girl could do. Like, and it's terrible. It's a cautionary tale. Be careful what you do to who, because vengeance is right around the corner. You know.
No. See, and that's I have seen that now that I think about it, a long time ago. I did not enjoy that kind of movie. You know, it's a little too Last House on the Lefty for me, and I fucking hate that movie. You know, I hate Last House on the Left. It's one of the worst fucking pieces of fucking snuff porn I've ever seen in my life. You know,
I saw that.
It's not Wes Craven's best. It's not. I know it's
that was specifically written by a commission. I think someone requested it of him and paid him to do it because it's very much out of flavor for the rest of his work. You know,
right? Like even the more like left field kind of shit that he comes up with later, like Serpent in the Rainbow, right? It's totally unlike fucking Last House on the Left. It's good, still good, and it's also very
trash.
I like that movie. It's a good movie.
Man, you know, you're one of those people.
I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it to this day.
I bet you liked what's the name of Skin Deep. I bet you liked Skin Deep, didn't you?
Did you?
Oh my god, I think it's Mila Jovanovic, whatever. It's like her first role, and she is all of 19, and I think she has 5 words in it, and most of it's her staring at a mirror in various forms of dress because she becomes some kind of serial killer. So I never really parsed out what was going on. I was too busy jerking off. I'm not gonna lie, that bitch is fine.
Suka. So Last House on the Left is essentially the story of these guys who break out of prison. They escape from something or other. Anyway, they do bad things. Yeah, just don't watch it. But yeah, they do bad things, and then their parents spend the rest of the movie fucking torturing these guys to death. It's
rough.
I don't disagree with the sentiment. I just didn't need to watch it.
I think I might be wrong. It's another one of those snuffy type of thing. I think the name of it is The Thing in the Basement. I'm not certain. It was something about a basement. I think it was The Thing in the Basement. The Thing in the Basement was their older sister. And it's done from the perspective of like the really little kids who are too young to understand what's going on. And so you don't get a full shot of the amount of depravity that's actually going on until like the final frou for all, when they run out of the house trying to get away, and you find out that this entire thing is loosely based on a true story, an event that actually took place where a very overbearing father locked his oldest. I don't know. There's a weirdness there. I think it was his granddaughter, but his daughter had already died, and this was the oldest of the grandchildren, right? So the first one they locked in the basement, and after that, they just kind of cycled them through to the schools, you know.
Word. It sounds like that one Jennifer Lawrence film, something to do with the house.
Oh yeah, the Room, not the Room, but the. You're driving me crazy with this, but you can't think of it because you can't hear your interior monologue. But I can sit here in my head and try to sound it out like it wasn't The Experiment or The Captive, The Pet. That's another good one. The Cage, or is it just Room?
No.
I think it's just Room.
No, it's something to do with the house. House at the end of the street. The Room
so.
was Brie Larson, by the way.
It was Brie Larson. Yeah, I was just coming to my realization on that. You're right. But The House at the End of the Street's a bad one. What was the Jodie Foster one that when she was like 10 and the story was that her parents had went like out of town. She's 10 or 11. They're going to stay for a couple hours, but they got into a car accident and died. And no one in the other city knew that they had kids. And so no one notified anybody. It's like back in the late 60s, early 70s. And so the kid just decides she owns a house. She goes to school and pretends everything's okay. And eventually the food runs out. And one of the neighbor guys realizes there's a 10-year-old girl living next door alone.
A little girl who lives down
exactly the direction you think it'd go.
Jesus Christ.
No.
I don't like movies like that, man. I don't like movies that bring me back to fucking reality. You know? I don't. It's not there's nothing entertaining about that. It's just sickening. And I gotta read about that shit in the fucking headlines every goddamn day as it is.
How'd you feel about A Quiet Place?
I like The Quiet Place.
the
Gal
one.
disagrees with me on this, but I liked both of them.
Okay, me too. And can I ask you, what were the monsters an analogy of in your mind?
I didn't see them as an analogy of anything. I just watched a monster
Really?
movie. See? Yeah.
It's a monster movie, but the monster's the father. The father's a raging alcoholic. The only time the monsters ever
Where the fuck are you getting that from?
Dude, I'm dead serious. Go back and watch it. And whenever the father is on screen with the kids,
That's gonna ruin the movie for me. You know that, right?
I'm gonna ruin it bad because it's the head canon is too good. There's this channel called What's Anti-Logic, and he walks
you've
through the
mentioned them before.
whole thing, dude. It is an amazing. It's like Hellraiser and Addiction, right? It's a similar sort of head canon.
Yeah, I mean, Hellraiser and addiction it's Hellraiser and sexual addiction. Let's put it that way.
Well, it's addiction in general. Sexual addiction is just one of the facets. Because I'm not going to go too far into that one. That'll definitely catch some. Because I mean, no.
I think that Jodie Foster movie is the little girl who lives down the lane.
Yes, that is it. Little girl who lives down the lane. And what's messed up is like at one point in time, she runs across a cop, and the cop does everything legally within his power to try to get through the door to prove that her parents aren't there because he suspects something nefarious is going on. And if I might be mistaken on this, I might be getting my
wires crossed,
movies mixed up, but I'm pretty sure the cop comes back later with like a bottle of wine and just shoves the door open. And I think that's where it ends. I'm pretty sure that's either right at the very ending or right before she leaves the house and just goes on the lam or something. I can't remember how that movie is. I could never watch it to the end. I don't think it was so cringy.
See, Anna, I didn't watch Funny Games because it's the press for it, the advertisements for it convinced me it was fucking torture porn, and I don't like torture porn.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I didn't really like Hostel.
Oh my god!
I know, awful.
The
fucking
end
movie.
of that movie is what kills me when the Achilles.
I don't like Saw. Right, and I realize that there are elements of Saw that are not torture porn. It's detective story kind of shit, but there's enough of it there that it just puts me off the whole fucking franchise.
Yeah, I liked the first one and just didn't want any more. And then that franchise is what it is.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
I
one
want
of
to
them.
pitch an interpretation of Seven. Seven was supposed to be a Batman film, and they didn't get the rights, but they made the film anyway. And if you watch the movie, you'll realize that every scene outside, it's raining. Every scene at night, homie growls like Batman. And every scene where Kevin Spacey, that's Kevin Spacey. Yeah, Kevin Spacey's in. He's essentially either grinning or smiling and plays the greatest Riddler in movie history.
So I'm gonna twist this around on you a little bit. So the same guy directed that and The Batman. I would argue that The Batman was a Seven movie that they slapped Batman in.
See, I hate
You're not wrong. I can see that.
7 was a better movie than the Batman. I'm just saying.
7. Ooh, bro. Like the first time I watched 7, I came in, I was freaking exhausted. And I plopped down on the chair, turned it on, and just happened to catch the very beginning of it. And I'd been working like 19 hours, and I just knew I was fixing to slug out. And I turned it on, turned it up enough so I could hear it, propped back, smoked me a big fat tater. And 3.5 hours later, however long the director's cut of that movie is, I'm still sitting there watching it and utterly twisted up in my brain about what's actually going on here. Like, are we witnessing miracles? How is this guy doing this? You know,
I loved the film until the end. And when I don't like the end as much as I despise the end,
What's in the box?
like I don't care about that. Like, even that's fine with me. It's literally the very end where I don't think that character would make the choice that he makes, no matter how devastated he was. And so it thoroughly pissed me off to hate the film.
Okay, so I kind of see where you're getting with that, but in my opinion, I think that actually does cap off what was going on, because it wasn't just that event that pushed him over the edge. It was the fact that they had nothing on John Doe until John Doe gave himself up.
Yeah.
And he had been pushing this guy and pushing this guy and pushing this guy and doing little things to invade his life and leaving him little notes and shit like that. This was not like a sudden turn for him. He was already at that point where he was like, I can either snap or I can keep my shit together. And then he was presented with the box, and it pushed him over the edge.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't agree.
You know, and in the end, John Doe wins.
Yeah,
well,
and that's
no matter how it comes down, there's a winner, there's a loser. No one wins because John Doe just paid, but it's not enough. This will continue. The amount of planning that went into doing the things that he did just for the movie implies that for the rest of their natural life, they'll be receiving candygrams and freaking Post-it notes popping up all over the place. It would be a good start movie for Saul, honestly. It wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. So where was it at? Sukanuka. Man was very, very pretty. I wouldn't necessarily I liked the first 2/3 of the movie. I really did. I thought they did a pretty good job overall. There are small gripes that I have with it in general, but yeah, the overall, but yeah, when they get to that fucking third act, man, the very, very end of it has things I like, but overall, the whole flooding of the city and all of that shit was fucking retarded.
I kind of feel the same way I did about the George Clooney Batmans. George Clooney's not Batman, you know.
George Clooney has apologized for that fucking movie.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he recognizes he's not right for the character, and the gentleman that they cast for the Batman is also not Batman.
And then he comes back with a cameo in The Flash as.
I realize he wears a mask and a suit and all that. It's not all that intense. That's who it is. But I mean, who would you like to see as Batman if it was going to be done?
Michael B. Jordan.
What about him?
He should be Batman.
No, he should not.
We need more black representation.
Well, I'd be honest. That'd be an interesting.
I've never met him.
How about Idris Elba? We go for if we want to go for an off. Are you going to take me down now? I know what I said. Where I said it. I'm aware of what might happen.
Did he leave?
I don't know what just happened.
I feel like Sam froze.
I suspect he did too many things.
Sam lost his internet. Well, it was nice to meet you, Cal. Sort of. You seem like a troll, sir.
There's layers. Oh yeah, Sam totally.
Sam just went. All right.
All right now. So Gal.
What's up?
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Excellent. Would you like for me to talk to you in my NPR voice and sell you a sofa?
This is hilarious because Sam used his NPR voice earlier.
Yeah, I heard it. He was very good at it, by the way. Like, I was impressed. I don't have the right accent for it. No matter how well I try to speak, it always comes across in a slight southern drawl.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
My wife wants me
Cal
to do
crashed as well. I thought Sam booted him for being a troll.
Oh, wow. So, well,
Both of them
wow.
crashed at the same
They
time.
both crashed. They must have been flying together.
That's amazing. Oh man. Oh jeez.
Yep. I had a occurrence too came to me the other day. I realized, Jesus said, "He who is without sin cast the first stone." So if you see Jesus coming, you need to duck. You might show up throwing rocks, just right out the gate. Like
Jesus might, since
I
he's
mean,
got
I think he meant that as a warning, not as like.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be a parable. It was meant to be, I come back, I'm gonna be fucking you guys up.
Oh god. Oh look. They're both
Sorry
back.
about my shit crashed.
I blame
Same here,
Sam.
mate.
See, I thought you booted Cal because he was being a troll.
I'm not being a
No.
Perfectly timed. It was like
wasn't
need
gonna-
more black representation. God.
Right.
Yeah. It's
I
just
wasn't
not
gonna
meant to
boot
be.
Cal. We haven't had him on here forever.
I've never met him, so it was an interesting meeting. And
Yeah, the StreamYard app on the phone is rubbish, mate. Not very good.
Yeah. So, Divided Kingdom meet green-haired anti-liberal and Caucasian Sasquatch.
nice to meet you.
Yes, brother. How are you doing? Nice beard.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the show.
Salutations, fine sir. How is one doing this pleasant afternoon, hey?
I'm not drinking. So how do you
Good,
think?
don't drink. Drinking's bad for you, mate.
I only drink for kidney stones.
Do you know how ridiculous it is for me to be surrounded by the voices that are currently on this stream?
Why?
What voices are that?
I'm just
This
a
is,
woman, okay?
Welcome to
Oh, what, man?
NPR.
All
My name
three
is
of you have
Samuel,
very
and
nice voices to
I'm
listen
going
to.
to continue
Thank
to
you, Sam.
speak in a
That's
Thank
good,
low,
though, isn't it?
Viking
Yes,
manner.
it's just overload.
Atta girl. You'll be all right, love.
That's okay. If you're
Her
nice,
ovaries are exploding.
you're a good girl.
I'm looking like Hugh Hefner tonight because Samael hit me up. And usually when that happens, I got to get in a nice dressing gown, go in the sauna, get nice and steamy for him.
Hey, Sam, I did a stupid thing. Do you know Prof, the rapper that does all the really weird kind of hip hop rap stuff? He's a white-ish dude. I don't know where the hell he's from, but he does Squad Goals and a handful of other songs. He's got this one line where he says something about his bedroom sounding like a women's tennis match. And I was over there a little bit drunk one night, and so I went and got a whole bunch of women's tennis match screams and put it right behind it. It is ridiculously stupid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it kills the loneliness if you put some headphones on and close your eyes. Ah. No, I'm not in a Weatherspoons, by the way, whoever said that. I got a cup of tea with some Shilajit in it, and I'm happy.
I'm sorry, was that English that you just...
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, actually, it was.
Translate. He said that he's going to finish his cup of tea and then he's going to dip.
Yes, I'm going to get some crumpets and some scones. Yeah. Bet on the horses.
He ate earlier and he's going to have the munchies.
Oh, no munchies
That
for
always,
me, brother.
That always reminds me of that line, that scene from the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie where Raphael meets Casey Jones for the first time, and he's like, "I got a new game for you, cricket." And he's like, "Cricket? Nobody understands cricket. You got to know what a crumpet is to understand cricket."
Those Indians love cricket, though, bro. Pakistan versus India on the cricket gets more views than the World Cup.
Pretty sure they got crumpets too, bro.
Wasn't
I think
India?
y'all had something to do
India
with
was a
that.
British colony much longer than fucking America was, though. So,
Well, I got something that'll make you very happy. All right. I am just in a dressing gown and pants, mate. So I am gonna just boop. But I got something funny to show you, right?
Oh, Lord.
I'm terrified. I'm actually having palpitations. This is scary.
Have you ever seen a crumpet? Bash, look at that.
Yeah, her name is
I know
Tina.
what you're talking about. They're like English muffins.
Yes, they are, but they're English crumpets.
I had to look
Yeah.
those up on a different stream because I was really.
I'll be
confused.
honest with you. Until right now, I had no idea that's what a crumpet was.
I
Really,
did a
Sam? I
Google
will send
search,
you
yeah.
some, mate.
I'm
Get a
pretty sure
PO
that's a
box.
biscuit. I don't know what you're on about.
Biscuit.
It'd be a biscuit, but it's like I got a crumpet. I'm like,
This ain't a
Okay.
biscuit.
no, I'm from the South,
Yeah,
bro. Over
but-
here, like,
I know what a biscuit is. I had one at KFC in North Dakota, and it made me fart like
No,
I just ate a load of dead
no, sir.
rats.
those are no, just no, sir. Stop speaking about KFC things referred to like biscuits. That's inappropriate and wrong. They are not
It's
biscuits.
almost sacrilegious.
What do you
Those
mean
are
that's the only American
honest
biscuit I
God,
ever
sure
had?
they're pastries.
Bottle of water.
Right?
That's what that. Okay. I saw that in there. I'm like, what language?
English.
It's
The language you speak.
it's Cockney is what it is.
I'm not Cockney.
Are you?
What the fuck are you?
I'm Bristolian.
Bristolian. Oh, from Bristol, I see.
Yeah, you talk like that down in Bristol, do you talk like this, proper. You my babber. That's what you talk
Hey,
like.
hold up. I got a buddy of mine. What was his freaking name? George. He's in Bristol. He's George. Runs a channel called My Benzo Hell. And Life is a Vibe.
Mob bins of hell.
My benzo, as in benzodiazepines.
Oh yeah,
Hell.
they're a killer, mate.
Yeah,
no
he-
wonder he's from Bristol. They love those pills, those little blue
Yeah,
vials.
he's one of those. He's
They
one
eat
of
it
those.
like it's Tic Tacs or Smarties, mate. They love it.
It's wild, dude. I mean, I was all for supporting him through his whole recovery and everything. But after 2 years later, and I recovered and he didn't, I came to a point where I just kind of had to be like, yeah, bro, you got to get with the program or get the fuck out. I really don't have time to be wasted on people that are just trying to kill themselves.
What were you on the Xannies?
I was on all kinds of stuff. It was an unpretty scene.
Everything but crack and smack, is it?
No.
I won't dirty the carpet around here with that type of talk.
All right.
So no, it's kind of funny. So we know a number of fellow creators over in the British Isles, as it were, and it's always amusing to me that like no two of you, like depending on where you're from, no two of you sound like you have exactly the same accent. It's so weird to me that there are so many different inflections and accents on such a small fucking island.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
Well,
like,
you could drive 2 hours and the accent has changed 10 times. A bread roll has a different name. And in America, you drive for 4 hours and it sounds the exact same.
Well, let me put
Yeah.
it this way. Yeah, in
Depending on where you
Wyoming
are.
is 3% larger than all of Britain in terms of actual landmass. 3%. That's it. We're the same size as your country, just my state, right? There's only like one or two accents here in all of Wyoming. It's all pretty much. We all sound pretty much the same.
Where is Wyoming at in the size? Because Montana's fourth largest.
It's over there.
Sixth. We're sixth largest in the nation. Yeah,
So Montana's bigger than that. Makes sense.
not a lot, but yeah, it is bigger. I think Montana's fourth, right? You said.
Yeah.
A lot of that
Yeah.
stuff changes if you remove the federally owned land and state parks.
Well,
Sure.
I went to
Sure.
Teddy Roosevelt Park. That was all right.
Teddy Roosevelt's who started all the parks.
All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
The
bull
very
moose.
first one is actually in Wyoming. It's Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And the first national monument is also in Wyoming. It's Devil's Tower.
Okay, very cool, mate. Very cool. I was working on the border of Montana. I was in Epping, North Dakota.
That
Well,
is-
basically,
that's not good.
that's not Montana. So
I
that
know, but it's on the
border-
border of Montana.
No. What I'm saying is the Montana side of it. We don't consider that Montana. It can go to North and South Dakota, and no one would notice or care.
Yeah.
It's only
Yeah,
the
there's no one
states in
there.
Montana that matters.
There's no
Right.
one there, dude.
The western half of Montana is Montana.
There's
Okay.
this one guy with a dog named Phil, and there's an old lady that screams at him, and those are the only people out there.
Those
Seem
are
like
like
good
flatland
chaps.
Montana.
What's
See, I'm
weird?
clearly
in Georgia,
from Montana, but the face.
we have lots of different accents, but it's because of the international influence of our history. Because we have a little bit of Appalachia, we have a little bit of the coastal empire, we got a little bit of low country, we got a little bit of Creole, we got a little bit of Florida, man. So it's a little bit of everything. But the really weird thing is the lake areas in Georgia all have slightly different accents because most of the lakes will have like a convenience store and a grocery store on a boat landing. And so you don't need to own a car. My mom didn't drive a car till she was like 21. Till she went on a date with my dad. Otherwise, she was lake people.
Dude, that's wild.
I've been driving since I was 14.
Yeah.
12, technically.
Driving my whole life. I don't even remember not driving, honestly.
Oh, I haven't driven in 3 years, mate.
Ah,
Well, you can do that. You have a bus. You try to catch a
you
bus
just
from here, the only
walk
place you're going is to prison.
That's all right then. You get a nice little orange costume for Halloween.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And every other year, every other day of the
Every
year.
other-
Yes, mate. Every day is Christmas, eh?
Oh man, yeah. No, it's always good to connect with people from other countries though too. It's just we were on stream last night. I think with Mr. Grant Gregory, who's Australian, for instance.
Crikey.
Very much so. And even across the United States, like the Horny Alf is a good pal, right? Horny Alf's accent doesn't sound anything like mine. Sounds a lot more
Horny
like
Alf.
Caucasian Sasquatch,
Yes.
but not the same. Yeah.
do you know the show,
So-
Alf?
I say, boy, there's a few different Southern accents.
So
Oh, don't be
Alf
playing
was
around
a-
me like that.
Alf was a TV show in the 80s about a family who took in an alien, as in like from outer space, right? Who was played
Oh,
who
no,
was a
Mexico
puppet.
from outer space, yeah?
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
anyway, they took in this alien and his favorite thing to eat was cats. And so our buddy Alf, Horny Alf, took his name from that because he eats a lot of pussy.
Cats.
Ooh, yes, man. Oh, no, I know who that geezer
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
He's a
I
funny
have-
fucker, isn't
I
he?
have the lunchbox from the Alf TV show, and I've been searching the Southeast. Every time I go by a flea market, I got to get out, walk around, and try to find the thermos.
Mhm.
The thing is, over here, you'll meet people who genuinely look like that geezer.
Oh Lord.
No costume, no nothing. They just look like that. And you just got to go.
I gotta, you seen the Mandalorian?
He's only got 4 teeth too.
Yeah, mate, my teeth are bugged as it is, man. I'm probably going to
You know
lose
the
all of them.
Ugnaught from the Mandalorian, the short dude that he goes and talks to build the kid's crib. Anyway, I got a buddy of mine looks just like that guy with no freaking makeup. I'm utterly baffled why they didn't just cast him for the role.
I got told I look like Sid from Toy Story.
Mm.
You know, the one that blows up all the toys?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, mate.
I don't know who told you that, but they're savage. Tell them they get a point
3
from
different
Sasquatch.
sites I've been on. They go, "You're right, Sid," and I just know to turn around and be like, "Yeah."
You should just admit that they're talking about Sid Vicious and just roll with it.
Oh, mate, no Sid Vicious. I'd be gone already. I'm 2 years older than he was when.
I'm just saying, look like and be like are different things.
Yeah, well, I usually have like a proper Jew throw, long curly hair, so I just shave it all off because it doesn't fit in a hard hat as well. Yeah, mate. Brilliant. Nice puss green, huh?
Hey, gal, this is the wrong platform for that.
Is it? I'm not paying you
Should
any
take an
US
OF.
dollars to see it. I'm just seeing
Oh,
some free
that-
puss right now.
That reminds me. Hold up a second. So the tagline under my name there, Caucasian Sasquatch. Would you mind reading that in the voice of Alex Jones, please?
The cats are turning all the frogs gay.
Thank you very much.
This
Oh,
is
that's-
Snow, by the
You're
way.
welcome. Hit me up
Snow.
for all Alex Jones needs.
One sec, green hair. Why you call your black cat after a white substance?
Because he's a bastard
he's-
from the north.
Yeah, that's all right. Then.
I fucking told you.
Fair enough.
I fucking told you. All cats are bastards.
He's a stray.
Oh, he's a stray.
He was. He's
What was he hooked on snow?
Mm-hmm.
A bit
And
of
it's
ice.
also just a funny name to call a black cat.
Yeah, it is. To be fair, it looks nothing like snow.
Well, if it's been tread upon enough.
I mean, you can get
You
snow
stand
that looks
on your
like that in
cap.
cold country, but yeah.
The precipitation, thank you.
Yeah.
That was beautiful, bro. That timing was flawless.
I
I
do
was
have a
gonna
quick
say it,
run.
but you beat me to it because my timing was a hair off. That was great.
Yeah, a couple beard hairs off, eh? I tell you what, you should name your beard Snow, mate. You got a couple greys coming through.
Oh, dude, when I first started my channel, I had a perfect milk vampire thing going on.
A milk vampire. Or do
Yeah.
they suck?
Milk. Titties?
mate.
I mean, like, what do you I
Mate.
qualify.
Those aren't udders, I'll tell you.
Oh, no, some of them girls be toting packing, you know. Bitch, I'm a
stuff, man.
cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow.
No.
Yeah, well, you know who Jimmy Savile is? You know, the notorious bloke from UK?
Unfortunately, I'm aware, yeah.
Yeah, well, me too, mate. There was Jim will fix it. He helped like fix streams for stuff. I've always wanted to milk a cow blindfolded, and Jim fixed it for me.
My cousin can help you out.
What? Can he help me milk more cows blindfolded? Brilliant, mate.
You're in, dude. You're totally in. I'll call Chris up and let him know. He'll get the boys
Yeah.
to they'll take you milking.
Yeah, hit me up, mate. I'm all about that. Need a green card somehow. Put my skills to use. Yes, mate. I trained enough as a teenager, right?
I like him. He's silly.
I'm a
Oh,
silly
yeah.
sausage, I am.
Cal's good people though. He does a lot of work bringing a lot of awareness to the shit that's happening everywhere. Really.
Sure.
US and UK are my favorite.
Yep.
So I really like Europe too much because it's
I'm
fallen.
pretty big in Ghana, apparently. I don't know why.
You
For
what,
some
mate?
strange reason, I have it's like US, UK, Canada, Ghana. Apparently, I have a
Ghana?
lot of subscribers in
I keep
Ghana.
getting Philippines myself, and as far as I know, I've only got one viewer who actually lives in the Philippines. He's in chat right now.
We still on about Ghana?
No, in my YouTube stats and everything, it gives you where all your different subscribers and actual viewers, not even if they're not subscribed. And for some strange reason, specifically when I do Sasquatch Shields, I'll have like 25 or 30 people come through from Ghana. They never chat. I figure it's a bot farm or something. You know, I don't know. I've never seen not one chat, but apparently they show up, they like my stream, they view love to be a view, and then they leave. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Huh?
I had somebody suggest that because one of my very early shorts was being Odin, you know, what are the humans doing?
Oh yeah, they're still figuring that out over in Africa. They don't know what the hell's
Well,
going on.
there's apparently a large Icelandic sourced population in Ghana. Apparently they went back there in like the 60s or 40s or something, and they just colonized and then they integrated into society. And so they're not there anymore as a people, but a lot of their like Norse traditions kind of stuck around. And so I figure they figure they're like, you know, you look like Odin. So they're just like, oh,
Odin.
That guy.
It's an Odin. I don't know what Odin is, man. I need to learn that. Odin.
Yes.
Yeah. Odin, mate. Innit?
Yeah.
Eh?
Throw an eye patch on him. He looks just like him.
Yeah, mate. What? I'll tell you what. God bless those Icelandic folk. Eh?
I don't carry Mjolnir.
We're gonna make Ghana great again. Eh? Brilliant.
You know, I mean, there are certain West African countries that are not as terrible as some of the other sub-Saharan African countries. You know, like Nigerians tend to have their shit together. You know,
Yeah, but they also
especially-
burn down churches, don't they?
So do the Norse.
I'll be right back. I gotta
You
get
know,
my
so do Norwegians.
The one you got to worry about is Somalia, mate.
Yeah. Well, that's Somalia's East Africa, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, I don't know where I am. You get a lot of them come over, and the majority of them are sick. They're sound. I got a Gambian friend, and he talks like a Jamaican for whatever reason, but he makes music. He's a great guy. But call me stereotypical. If I see a Somalian, I stay the hell away. I don't trust them.
Oh, fair enough. I don't know that many Somalis. They don't usually make it as far inland as Wyoming.
Yeah,
it's,
good.
It's pretty.
They
It's
have
pretty much.
boats, mate, so be aware.
It's pretty much
They'll-
just white and Indian out here. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll find a way. They got boats.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's
Wyoming is a
this is-
different.
This is hard country. Not a lot of
Yeah.
people who are from America like it out here. you
Yeah.
know?
Wyoming, what? You're near Michigan, aren't you?
No, I'm south of Montana, north of Colorado.
Wyoming's underneath Montana?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Directly.
Direct shot. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of Wisconsin, aren't I? Where it's like the
Yes.
Michigan Lake.
Yep.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
I'll do better, all right?
No worries. They're all big fucking states, and
I was gonna
most
Most
like, we're
Americans
part
don't know where.
yeah,
shit
we're
is.
part of what they call the flyover states, which
Yeah.
means that we're not LA and we're not New York, so they just fly over us because we're unimportant, despite the fact that we provide all of their energy needs and all of their food needs and a bunch
what
of
it's
their
all
fucking
about.
water.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would hate to live in New York or California.
Also, where
I always
they
said I'm
stashed
never
all their
going to
nukes
New York
here.
City. I'm never going to California because I think they're both shitholes. I already live in one. I don't need to visit another.
Yep. I was stationed in California, and that's the only reason I was there. Technically, I was born there, I guess, but I don't remember it.
Well, Amtrak, I mean, I didn't go as far as California.
Mm.
Amtrak was sick, man. They had a lot of good facilities on there.
I'm glad you had a great experience. They also have a long history of train derailments and killing most of their passengers. So
Yeah, that's all right. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs, you know?
they break all the eggs.
Bloody brilliant, mate.
Yeah. So no, it's I actually haven't taken a train in this country in a long fucking time, and I don't think it was across state lines when I did last.
Well,
Mine wasn't.
It's not very convenient for state lines anyway.
No,
Not
but
like
I'm
passenger trains.
that's true. But I'm just kind of marveling that I haven't, because I actually like trains quite a bit.
Yeah. I
You know,
wish they were more passenger friendly.
Yeah.
across state.
And when I say I like trains, I mean in that like giddy little boy
like
model train kind of
trains.
way. I like trains. I think they're cool machines.
Yeah.
You know. So like when I was 4 years old, so my dad was a part of the old Burlington Northern outfit before it became Burlington Northern Santa Fe, right? And when I was a kid, he was the brakeman on what they used to have. They used to call brakemans. They once upon a time they had cabooses on the end of it. Now they've just got more engines, and the brakeman's job was to sit in the back with the caboose and make sure that shit didn't fucking break apart when they slowed down. Kind of thing. And it was also his job to walk the line with the engineer and the conductor and all that stuff. Anyway, he was able to take me to work one day and brought me up on the engine and let me drive it for about 70 feet when I was about 4 or 5 years old. Man, never forgot that fucking experience. I've loved trains ever since.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You know? So I used to have this painting that I salvaged out of a fucking dumpster somewhere. It was just like, you know, like those old velvet paintings that you used to see all over the place in like the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And like most of them are Elvis or fucking clowns or whatever. This one was this big old tapestry looking thing with this big black train billowing orange smoke out of it coming up against a stormy sky across coal country and shit. It
Ooh.
was awesome.
That sounds
And,
amazing.
Yeah, it was great. I found it in a fucking dumpster and it was mostly undamaged. So I was like, I took it home and I showed it to my wife and I was like, we're putting this on the wall.
Was she as enamored with it as you?
She was not.
Yeah.
So, but she wasn't really that enamored with me either. That's why she's my ex. So,
Valid.
Do you still have it at least?
do I still have what? Oh, the painting? No, it got lost in one of several moves, unfortunately.
Oh, Mr. Moneybags, are you constantly buying property, moving back and forth?
Oh no, not buying. It's more like couch surfing, hopping. You know?
Oh man,
No, I'm not. I'm doing okay. Don't worry about me. Yeah, it's not like as far as money bags go. No, I make enough to get by. So
Same here, mate. Barely enough, eh? The life we live.
Yeah.
Are you fit, Samael? You never have your camera on. Are you a fit man?
ish. I don't know. I don't
Ish?
really work out too much because my job is very physical. You know, I walk constantly up and down stairs all the time.
So you are fit.
Yeah. I could probably kick through a door with my legs, but you know, my lower
Have
body
some
is much
faith
stronger
in
than
yourself,
upper.
boy. Don't put yourself down and say, I'm a fit man, eh? I don't know, dude.
I'm not as fit as I once was. I know that.
Well, then change it. Get fitter, eh? You'll be fine, mate. Come on now.
I'll do okay.
She'll be all right, love. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, you'll be fine. You're a good enough bloke on the inside. I'm sure you're just as fine on the outside. No diddy.
I got to think about Ginger Sandy Pickle, but it's not like I don't know why you keep bringing that shit up. Yeah, she was a redhead, but it's not her natural hair color.
You're a ginger.
No, I'm not a ginger. I got a thing about gingers. I think they're hot in bed, but they have no souls.
Oh, me too, mate. Yeah, pale skin and red hair. All about that.
Yeah, right up until they try to swallow your soul and add it to their freckle collection.
The ones I've been with haven't tried to swallow my soul.
Swallowed something else.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes. Yeah.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, daycare sorted.
All right. Well, I don't know if Squatch is coming back. He said he's something about 10 minutes or so, but we have crossed the 3-hour mark.
Damn.
Yeah, didn't expect that today. Not unhappy about it. I think it's pretty cool, but yeah.
So we talked about like what, 2 topics that you wanted to? 1.5?
I'm fine with that. It's still, I think the show's been good. People have been enjoying the show and the conversation and all that, and that's really the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I hated it. I thought it was boring.
Oh, shut up.
Well, I don't know what you're doing here then.
Because I love you so much.
How much he hated it.
I love you so much, Samuel. You don't understand, mate. I think you're a sound guy.
I try to be, most of the time.
You are one. Stop bringing yourself down. Ooh, come on, mate. Be like, yes, that's me, mate. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's very true, Andy.
Andy? Who's Andy?
I was talking about a comment in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say something. I
this
might have
one?
just got doxed. Ooh.
No.
Gal is a Marine. Are you?
Oh, yeah.
What's your KIA count?
I never deployed.
Never deployed. Well, good on you for still doing it.
Yeah.
If they try sending you to Ukraine, don't go.
Oh, no. I am well past them being able to recall me.
Good girl.
I got out 12 years ago. So
12 years ago, you're a young lady.
about to be 35.
You're 25.
I said about to be 35.
35. You're still a young lady, aren't you?
Feel old.
Ish.
Listen, Sam. Don't make me kick your ass.
I could say that because I am older than she is. So
You are a grandpa.
It's fine.
You're a granddad?
I'm not a grandpa. I had better not be a goddamn grandpa. I need to call my kid.
I was just saying it to insult him, not an actual grandpa.
Look, one of my kids is old enough that I could have been a grandpa like 4 years ago.
As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, he's gonna freak out on his daughter later.
Yep.
How old is she, Sam?
22.
What, 22?
22, yeah.
I'm 23, mate. What's she saying?
Oh, God.
I'm not telling you.
You're not telling me what she's saying? Is she a good enough girl, Sam?
Oh, no. She's fine. She's a good girl. She just she needs to stay away from boys.
Does she? I'm not like the others, Sam.
Yes, she needs to stay away from boys.
I'm trying to get that green card, baby.
Yeah, not that way. You're not.
Oh, come on, Sam. We're all friends here, aren't we?
Oh yeah. No, we're definitely friends. But the thing is if you got involved with my kid, I'd have to murder you, and I'd rather not do that.
Why? We can have a pint.
Yeah,
Buy you a
no,
pint.
no.
You can call me son.
because that's never going to happen either. Yeah. No.
Oh, I really wanted that pint with you.
I will have a pint with you. I'm not calling you son.
Oh, we'll see what she says about it, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff, Sam. You don't sound like
she doesn't
an
get a
old
choice.
bloke.
I'm a dad. She didn't get a choice.
You don't sound like a old bloke with grey hair. So good on you, mate. You must have had him real young.
Well, I would have been about 20-ish when she was born. My other one is 11, and yeah, that's so she's quite a bit younger. But yeah, no, I would have been about your age.
I'm 23, mate. You'd be 3 years younger. I look 16, but I'm 23.
No, she was. No, I would have been 21, 22 years old.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, which is not a bad age to have kids. I'm just saying, don't have kids with my kids.
Okay, so. Well, mate, I don't even have a place of my own, let alone put my seed somewhere. So you don't got to worry no more.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think this is probably
it's a good thing to wrap up on, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because I don't know where to go from here other than like I got a shovel and a gun. Don't touch my kid.
Just book me a flight and then you can sort me out.
Yeah.
It's all love, Sam. I'm only taking the piss.
Oh, I know. But do me a favor, because you were kind of a last minute jump on here, and I have not added your information into the description yet. Let people know where they can find you and what you're up to this week.
What I'm up to this week, probably breaking my back, carrying bricks around. I'm not really doing much at the minute, mate. But I have a channel called The Divided Kingdom, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm full-time work. I'm trying to save up, and then come the end of 2025, I'll see where life takes me. Because this contract's at the end of 2025. I'm only a little boy, mate, but I'm trying to big myself up. I got kind of like 12 bricks at a time on my shoulder at the minute, and it's non-stop. You only get a half-hour break during the day, but it's bloody good money. I'm on day rate, so I'm happy. I didn't really have security for a little while. I do have shows, yeah. It's just I don't really have the time at the minute. And then come Friday night or Saturday, I'm just kind of like, I'm in a dressing gown. It's 2 a.m. on a Sunday. So sums me up, mate. All my time is work right now. I gave you the time of my day or my morning because I love you so much, Sam. Yeah.
Oh, we appreciate you coming by, man. It's been a while since we've seen you.
That just got a little gay. All right.
It's not gay. We're all blokes here.
It's not gay. You're a girl.
Exactly. What do you know about cuddling up and having smooches with your lads? Yeah.
I was in the Marines.
Yeah, that's a little gay.
Ooh, yeah. Taco on taco, is it? Gosh.
So, anyhow, Caucasian Sasquatch is still backstage, but he's not back yet. So his links are in the description below. Go check his channel out. He does all kinds of fun shit. He's all over the internet. He's a good dude to know, and he has, for my opinion anyway, probably the sexiest voice on the internet. No homo. Gal, where can people find you in the upcoming week?
The usual. Just go to all my socials. Green-haired anti-liberal. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. I take your book list, Collecting Dust in the Corner, and I read it so you don't have to. Right now we're reading The Haunting of Hill House. Not quite my favorite book so far, but trucking through it. Otherwise, tomorrow, Horny Alf. We play video games every Sunday. And Dermy's Ball Busters every Friday. I produce for him for that. And then Beelzebub on Beelzehub every Saturday morning, where we shoot the shit, kind of like we do here. It's just happier most of the time. Although this was a good conversation today. There's ups and downs.
Yeah.
But then, of course,
it wasn't too metaphysical for you, and it didn't get too in the weeds with the darkness like we usually do. So
yeah. Yep. So. But yeah, that's me. All over the place. Follow Twitter. That's where I post everything, when and where I'll be. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. as for me and myself, it's possible that you'll be able to find me on Exiled Lioness 2 here shortly this evening. Certainly possible. I don't see anything coming up yet. I haven't checked that, but if it does happen, I will make sure that y'all know we're in the community tab. Other than that, you can find me over on Adam the Renaissance Nerds channel on Monday for Mellow Mondays. Then back here on Friday for Abyssal Musings, 9 p.m. or 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and then hopping over to Beelzebub for Beelzebub right after that, which Gal says is in the morning. I say it's still Friday because I haven't fucking slept yet.
Yeah, semantics, my man.
Yeah.
It's technically Saturday.
Why aren't
It's
you
important.
sleeping?
Oh, because I jump in between streams late at night. That's what,
Yeah, but
Friday nights are
lack of
pretty
sleep
wild.
with people at your age isn't good for your mental health.
He's just
Oh,
meaning
yeah.
on Fridays.
Yeah.
He's being
What,
So-
partying hard with Snow the cat? Other type of Snow. Yeah. I know what you're about,
So-
mate.
different kind of kitty.
That's a
Anywho,
good cat.
so you can go over and watch us on Beelzebub. It's a fun show. It's a lot more fun typically than this one is. Although today I think we did have some fun. And then right back here next week for Screaming Into the Void, number 105 next week. So yeah, hopefully the world doesn't fucking explode in the next week, and we'll see you all then. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to everybody who showed up on panel today: Caucasian Sasquatch, Shadu, Cal, Gal, and thank me too, because fuck it, I wouldn't be here without me.
Narcissist.
You paved the path.
Yeah.
And we took it.
So yeah, thanks for coming, chat, and hanging out. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great night. Remember, it could always be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras. Bye.